Hello, everybody. Welcome. What's up? How we doing? How we feeling? We're feeling good. We're feeling very macrossy. What's up? Hi. Glasses. So true. Because today, I'm going to be teaching you guys everything about Macross that I can teach without spoiling anything. In a friendly, new person, completely new person, a person completely new to Macross way. But hello. How we doing? Welcome. Oh my god, why is everybody black in the chat on my end? That's so weird. Everybody bought Sayora right now. I'm like, hold on, I can't read you guys' names. What happened? Gosh. But yes, welcome everybody. Kobats, congrats on the first poop. Also, hello to Sayora, Lunatic Lurker. She stole my next box. Hello, welcome. And Yidna, hello, welcome. Luiklis, hello, welcome. This is so extra. I have to like read the names extra carefully because they're all the same color. Was pink for one message, then all black. Right? Like, I have no idea what's happening with that. It will completely collapse when she has to explain what engines the VF31 has. They have engines in lore? But yes, today, glasses on because I will be teaching you guys about Macross. If you want to thank somebody for the fact that I'm wearing glasses right now, you should be thanking Dallas specifically. The real Dallas Salad, you know, our wonderful mod who for once came up with an amazing idea that is extremely easy to come up with. Looks good, thank you. It's just a silly asset. This asset was made by Amy, I'm pretty sure. Amy, Twitter at keyokku. Whenever I upload this VOD to YouTube, it will be the credits will be in the description for the asset. Whoa! Thank you, Dallas. So true. But yeah, how are you guys feeling? Are you guys nerd? Well, yeah, I'm a nerd about Macross. I'm a nerd about Macross, and I will tell you everything about Macross today. So, you know, the more you call me nerd, the nerdier I will be. But yes, you're listening. Awesome. Nerd. Okay. I do wonder how quickly I want to start explaining, because I don't want to start too early before people haven't showed up. So we may stall for a little bit. I still haven't decided if I'm going to like edit this into a proper. You know, I should probably edit this into a proper video instead of just oh, my BGM is not looping. BGM. Hold on, I should loop that. Okay, there we go. All right. How's the BGM volume, by the way? Is it too low? Or is it just good? It's just supposed to be something in the background there. Having glasses is so un-Sigma. What does that even mean? Time to experience the nerd at her fullest. So true. You're never gonna see me nerdier than this stream, I think. Well, unless I make a stream explaining Macross lore, but that's not gonna happen before I'm confirmed most of you have at least watched some of the series. There was supposed to be something. Oh, you don't hear the BGM? What about now? How's it now? And I am Blue! And Drewy, thank you so much for the follows! Thank you! You got banned from the cemetery. Well, no worries, because we're not at a cemetery. This is just a Ghost Girls Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion where I'm going to be explaining Macross, my favorite anime series. Barely hear it. So it should be fine right now then. I'm guessing. Accidentally farted at someone's funeral. Well, I don't think that's an accident. I think that's a normal humanly function that would happen. Regardless of where you are. Now you hear it? Good. And Silverhand, hey, see Mikumo on the left. That's right, she's on the left. She's the purple girl. All right, let's start off by asking you guys, do you know what Macross is? Have you ever heard of Macross? Are you familiar with Macross in any way, shape, or form? No. Little loud now. All right, let's make it a little quieter. How's that? It's gone down with idols. All right. That's something. I have a friend named Macross. Does that count? I have a friend named Macross? Genuinely, or are you just pulling my leg? Sounds fun though. Gosh. I mean, thankfully I don't know them, because if I had a friend called Macross, I think I would be very obnoxious. To put it very simply. Because to me, Macross is, it's at this point, it's my water, it's my source of life energy, my life source. It's the only thing keeping me stuck to the mortal realm. You know, mortal realm, that's how you pronounce it. You know, I can't escape this earth as long as Macross as a franchise is not dead. So don't expect me to graduate before, as long as Macross is around, I will not be graduating from my ghostly duties, right? My limited knowledge is that it's idols on ships. Ships? I guess they can call me they are ships, spaceships. Yeah. I mean, people have many names. I have a friend called Destiny, so everything is possible. Well, I feel like Destiny is more of a normal name, but Macross, that's like, it's a made-up word. I'm pretty sure. Also, BGM, are you not looping? Yes, you are. Okay, thank you. Wait for hello, and Jetpacks, hello. Did I miss a hello to anybody? Probably. I probably missed some hellos, but it's fine. We are very, very good to start this, I would say. Are we? I'm gonna let you guys know that I did not have time to properly practice this presentation, but so everything is sort of, the text is there on the slides. There's not that much of it, and I am definitely going to over explain things. Most of the text is there on the slides, and for the most part, I did not practice speaking this aloud because I was finalizing the slides like 15 minutes ago. Somehow I also had time to make the thumbnail for Twitter, but yeah. Legacy, hello. All words are made up. Okay, but some of them are made up more recently, and others are not. Are we at the start line? No, that will be Aikatsu. We're at... What's a Macross sounding term for starting? Takeoff, right? That's that. We're at takeoff. Got presentation a little bit. Hopefully not too much. So depending on how it goes, I may just make this an edited YouTube video, but we'll see. Middle of a Fortnite match. Well, maybe you should consider Macross instead of Fortnite. But yeah, I suppose. Let's see. I might have stalled for long enough, maybe. Perhaps it's been 10 minutes, so maybe we should be starting. I'm Sandra. Hi, what's up? We're doing good things. Everything's good. I'm happy and excited to be talking about Macross in probably 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. Very excited. Yes. All right. So how about we get this presentation started? All right. It's gonna be all good. Yeah. All right. So first and foremost, what do you guys think Macross is? Here we have a little bit of something that you guys might have seen somewhere that might look familiar to some of you guys. Cute anime girls. So true. We definitely have cute anime girls. I didn't do the most proficient everything everything popular from Macross ever on the internet's slide. But here's a lot of things that you probably might have seen if you're around in the right... If you have been around in the right corners of the internet. So, quickly explaining things. This right here, you may be confused. Don't worry. That's the purpose of this GIF. Its purpose is to be confusing for those who don't know what the context of it. But this is from the very first Macross series, TV series. If you've seen this stupid GIF around of, you know, a lady throwing a baby, you know, it's from Macross. If you've seen this stupid GIF, now you know it's from Macross. Next up, we have this dancing girl here. You may recognize the animation alone, but, you know, something to go along with that would be, whoa, whoa, dancing in September, whoa, whoa, ba, 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 ba. So this is referencing, well, I put it here because you may know that When the Rune Sparkles in September meme song, this is used for visuals of that. And that is a mix of September by some band group, I don't know, I forgot. But the other part of the mix is Rune ga Pikato Hikattara, a song from Macross Delta. And this is a character from Macross Delta. Out of all the GIFs, the baby one is actually the one I recognize the least. Yeah, I just feel like I've seen it around sometimes, and I don't know, maybe it's as a Macross fan, this one's so infamous to me that I feel like if you had seen it once on the internet somewhere, it would stood out to you a lot and you would remember this thing. She's called Freya, I love her. So true, this is Freya, the protagonist of Macross Delta. Alright, next up, as already mentioned in chat, Ikenai Borderline. Shown here as a dance video from the game Utamakus Smartphone Deculture. This is the graphics from that game. And it is the dance move. Ikenai Borderline is like the #1 Annie song, and if you don't recognize it by name alone, it's the one that goes Giri giri ai Ikenai Borderline Nani no chite mo Subete kawashite miseru. Also sorry for like unwarmed up vocals, but that's basically Ikenai Borderline. You may have heard it if you listen to VTubers. If you listen to anybody who does karaoke nowadays of any song, you probably know this song at the very least. Well, cute, it gets stuck in the brain. So true, so true. And while we're on it, we have some other... Actually, those were the Macross Delta songs that I put here on the popular songs that you may know. But a lot of other songs from Macross Delta are also really popular at karaoke and that sort of stuff. But it's just that these two songs stand out from Delta because they are the most kind of recognized, at least in the Western scene, to my knowledge. You guys, if I'm the only VTuber, that's fine. Don't worry about it, okay? Okay, here's another thing that you may recognize, okay? So this character here, she's Gumi from Vocaloid. Do we have Vocaloid enjoyers here? We may do. We may have some Vocaloid enjoyers. I am a Vocaloid enjoyer, and the way I originally found out about Macross was through Vocaloid. What's a Vocaloid? Sayara, you're lying. But yes, Vocaloid would be Hatsune Miku and other virtual singers. Characters like Hatsune Miku. You guys know Hatsune Miku. I don't need to explain what she is. But she is a software that sings. And Gumi is another very popular Vocaloid character. And Gumi, as a character, shares a voice actor with Ranka Lee, this character right here from Macross Frontier. And here, Ranka is doing her very iconic Kira. Can we get Kira in the chat? I'm sure you guys should. We have at least 2 people with the Marley subscription, so you guys should be spamming Kira in the chat right now, okay? There's a Kira emote, okay? You guys should be spamming that. Do I have to show it? Do I have to show it? Do I have to? There we go. That's the one. That's the Marley Kira emote. This emote that I have is referencing... Why did my things... Oh, it's because I... Oh. Hold on, I'm scared. Okay. That's why. The cute Marley emote. Yeah, so you may recognize Macross from that one emote that I made, basically. That's where you might recognize it, if nothing else. But the reason why I put Gumi here is because Gumi came into existence after Ranka, because Ranka was Megumi Nakajima's debut role. And after that, she got the opportunity to voice the Vocaloid Gumi. And it has been rumored, I mean, literally look at them. Literally look at these two characters. It has been rumored that Gumi's design was inspired from Ranka. And it makes very much sense because green hair, green short hair, and orange clothes. It makes sense. It makes sense. They're definitely separate characters, but they kind of share similarities, and they're also both very much one of my favorite fictional characters, both of them. So I love them, and I think she's worth mentioning here as a possible entryway to Macross. She sings, yes, yes. Not AI art legacy. Do not bring that in here. AI has nothing to do with. Okay, well, not the bad kind of AI has nothing to do with Macross. I don't know where you're getting it from, but there are some villains in. Well, actually, there are some villains in the Macross universe that use AI to be evil, but it's not the kind of evil AI that we have nowadays on social media. But it's still AI that's evil. Virtual singers is a terminology. It's term. Virtual singers is a term. Vocaloid is a program. Virtual singer is a way to group all sorts of people who have people and characters together that don't have a physical appearance. So it could be anything from Vocaloids to VTubers, basically. And it's also used as a sort of, like, if you guys play Project Sekai, Color for Stage, it's very much used in that game nowadays to replace the term Vocaloid. Basically. The only AI Vocaloid makes the letter R more pronounced or something. I don't think I've heard of that. But some vocal synths use AI in them, but typically if we're talking about virtual singer kind of AI, this is this is off topic, so I'm probably it's whatever. But for the most part, virtual singers, if they use AI, it's not the unethical kind of AI. So alright, that's the end of that rant. I will talk about that later then. If we need to clarify any more things. Alright. So another thing that the Kira may I can't even speak sentences. Another thing that the Kira you guys might recognize, aside from my emote, will be the song Seikan Hiko, because it quite literally is Ranka's debut single in Universe. And basically there's a part in the song that goes Kira, and she does the pose. So that's that. And Seikan Hiko is also very popular in karaokes. And then we have Lion here on the song list, which is the second opening to Macross Frontier. It is also really popular in karaokes. Then we have Diamond Crevasse, also very popular to sing. Northern Cross, also very popular. These are also both from Macross Frontier, sung by Cheryl Gnome, who is a character that you guys will see more about soon. And then we also have Ai Oboite Imasu, which is very notable as being a song by Lin Minmei from the very first Macross series. That is just very iconic as one of the first anime idol songs ever. Too much info. You guys called me nerd like 5 bazillion times, so now you have to suffer, okay? Do you remember Love? Yes, that is the song name in English. And then finally, I've included some pictures of the mechs in Macross, because you may be familiar with Macross as the Gundam with idols. So here's the Gundams of Macross. They're called Valkyries. Valkyrie. And they have 3 transformation forms. They have the guy form, they have the plane form, and then they have the Jurwalk, which is a plane with legs and hands. Which one is it? This one is the SDF-1, right? This one's the SDF... Wait. No, it's VF-1. Fuck. Variable Fighter 1. Fuck. The SDF-1 would be the giant mech. Sorry. I got them confused. So, you know, basically, if it hasn't been clear by now, I'm into Macross for the idols and the music and the plots. I'm not into it for the mechs. I think they're cool, but I don't get it. All right, let's get that out of the way before anything else happens. I'm not teaching fake stuff. That's why we have Sayora in chat. Sayora is gonna correct me on everything Valkyrie related. But there shouldn't be that much unless I'm like pointed towards specifically talking about them, because I did not. There's only one slide on this topic, and I'm hoping to not fuck up things too much. They're not Metal Gears because the Metal Gears are actually Valkyries, because the Macross franchise has been in existence for longer than the Metal Gear franchise. So take that. It's more interesting to hear the wrong stuff. No! Sorry, I just hopped in, but seeing the screen immediately made me think thoughts of getting love hot. Welcome, fellow Macross enjoyer. The fact that you know that tells us that you are well into the franchise. This is a presentation that is catered towards people who don't know anything about Macross, but even people who know lots of stuff about Macross, they should enjoy it, I think. Beautiful singing voice. Well, I cannot stop myself from singing whenever a Macross song appears, okay? All right, I forgot to sing samples of the other songs to make you guys be like, oh, I've heard that song. Okay, so Lion is Iki no koritai, iki no koritai, mara ikite toku naru. That's Lion. Seikan Hiko is Ryusei ni mata kate anata ni kyuko ka. Diamond Crevasse is Kami-sama ni koi wo shite ta koro wa. That's Diamond Crevasse. Northern Cross. Damn, I don't remember the lyrics for that, so that's that's the one. And Oi oboete imasu ka is Oboete imasu ka Meta mega atta toki o Oboete imasu ka Teto te ga fureatta toki. That was probably off pitch, but it's fine. It's fine. I think I've heard some of those. That's what I'm saying. If you guys listen to any VTubers that do karaokes, a lot of these are very, very popular in karaokes. And overall, if you've heard anything about idols or popular Japanese music, you probably recognize the feel of them. Probably. Now you understand better. No worries. I will be here to sing whenever needed. Actually, no, the last one. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You might watch Macross. That will be amazing. But yes. So now that I've kind of shown you guys what you may possibly be familiar with of Macross before you actually know anything else about it, let's go ahead and give you guys some quick facts about the Macross series. This one as a slide was a bit of a last minute addition because I was like, well, I probably need to do some more factual things in here too. Just dedicate a slide for that. So that's kind of what this is here about. So, very quickly, Macross is a multimedia franchise of 40 plus years. It was created by Studio Nue, Artland, and specifically Shoji Kawamori is kind of thought to be the father of Macross as a person. Yes, Macross is over 40 years old. There has been everything in the series from anime, music, manga, novels, games, to I think even a musical. There's lots of stuff that has been in the Macross franchise, and even I obviously have not gone through all of it. I feel like it's pretty much impossible to see everything of the series at this point. It's so big, so large. So that's why I kind of wanted to make this presentation to teach you guys how to get into it, and so you're not too overwhelmed by the scale of it. Macross is a hag! You're so correct! Kawamori has probably designed some mech designs in plenty of series too. Yes! And somebody mentioned Transformers earlier. Kawamori has actually also worked on Transformers. So, basically, if you're a mech nerd, you probably should know this name. And Zakatax, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Even Marley hasn't watched Macross 25, Shun and Kinen, all that VF Macross Zero version. I'm gonna assume probably not. Because I don't recognize the name. I sure do, I'm a Transformers fanboy. Hell yeah. So yeah, hopefully you guys with the mech knowledge will patch me in with that whenever needed. And Big West is another company name that I think is very important when it comes to Macross. They have been there since the start and they have sponsored everything. They also created Macross 2 on their own. And Big West is also pretty much responsible for anything Macross being in the West nowadays, funnily enough, with their name. And just as a bit of a number thingy, I added that My Animalist kind of has a general average rating of 7.5 between each series. So some of them are like 7.9, some of them are 7.2 or something like that, but it kind of averages out to 7.5. So that, if you care about ratings, that should tell you guys that it's okay. So that's like a decent show, probably. Right. And I think that's it for the quick facts, so let's kind of move on. A real 7 out of 10 IGN kind of show. Assuming that's not a bad thing, yes. Personally, I find there to be a lot of good stuff in Macross, and I really, really enjoy it, so yeah. Enough about Big West versus Small East. I don't know. Maybe in the future. Maybe the next Macross series will have Small East. Yeah, my personal enjoyment for Macross is 10 out of 10. For me, personally. But, yeah. It also kind of depends between the series. Some of them are more obvious 10, others are 8 or something like that. But, yeah, moving on. So you guys know that it's a big series. Well, what's it about? Macross has a multitude of themes and genres kind of associated with it, but most prominently, every single entry features music, mecha, and romance. Those are like the core 3, the holy triangle of Macross. Every single entry has all these 3 elements. Some of them feature one element in a more higher standard than the others, or like it's more prominent in the spotlight, and then one of the 3 might be a little bit on the sidelines. But typically, they're pretty balanced. And yeah, when we say music can be anything from a pop star to an idol to a rock band, or simply some girl from a abandoned, not an abandoned island. How do I describe Macross Zero Island? Some sparsely populated island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and there's some girl who sings some folk songs. That also counts as music for Macross. Isolated, that's a good one. I only say girls, where are the boys gonna be? Alright, for Macross, the characters are pretty much balanced actually. So if you think about idol shows, the only time you're gonna see a man in an idol show is when it's the father of the main character. Macross is the complete opposite. Macross is an idol show where the idols can date men! So if that's too scandalous for you, as an idol purist, Macross may not be the one for you. However, I'm assuming that most of you are normal people and you don't care if your 2D waifu has a 2D husband. Sometimes literally a husband. They get married. Hold on, I don't think any of the idols get married. No. Probably not. But at the very least, characters do get married in this series and that sort of stuff. And if you don't like the men, there are still characters, there are girls who are gay for each other. So you can also get the men out of the picture completely if you really want to. There's a very, very large variety of characters in different kinds of love triangles or just pairings. There's the characters whose love interest has died, whose love interest will die. There's drama, everything that you can imagine with a love focused story. You got your childhood friends and everything else. You got the girl you just met on the street, and suddenly you're interested. The main characters typically there's 3 main characters in a series, because Macross likes the theme of 3. The main character trio typically consists of 2 girls and a guy, but there are, I think, yeah, there's 2 series where the trio consists of 2 guys and a girl. So, but typically it's more 2 girls, 1 guy, kind of a triangle. But, you know, personal hopes, whatever happens with the triangle in a future Macross series, it should be more gay. Because while the triangles in the past, or like while there are characters who are more LGBTQ and that sort of stuff, the main trio has always been pretty straight, even though there's some tension between the other characters. So in fanfiction, you could have a fun little gay couple of the main trio, but not in the actual series. Gotta have the hetero-homosexual love triangle, basically. Are there any male idols? There is a rock band with a male lead that is the singer/guitarist of the rock band. We don't have an idol group of men in Macross, but that's something that maybe they want to do in a future entry to spice up the formula. They could do that if they really wanted to. And a lot of the times, the triangles are left up to interpretation, actually. I feel like most of the time, the love triangles, they don't really have a specific answer in the end. So you can kind of go, well, okay, we kind of yeeted the guy off the picture, so now the 2 girls can just kiss instead. You can interpret that as an ending to some of the series. But welcome everybody tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Will becoming police solve the drama? It probably would. Actually, we haven't had like a situation in the Macross main trio where there will be like a guy who cheats on a girl who he's promised to be with or something. So that would be cool for a new future Macross entry. Like cheating, some real drama happening. Because typically it's just that it's just like a guy meets 2 girls kind of thingy, and it's like, oh man, and they get to know each other. And then by the end of the series, they typically, either one of them confesses, or both of them. And then they choose the girl. But I mean, it's simple enough love triangles, right? Thank you for the headband. But like, there's also drama, believe me, there's lots of drama. When do we get a Macross where the MC just goes for a 3rd girl in the end? That would be crazy too, honestly. But yeah, so on top of the love triangles and the music, a big part of Macross is also the mechs. There's only mech in the picture right now. 1 mech in the picture right now. But believe me, they are there. They're constantly there. If you're trying to get into a romance series, you're gonna have the mechs in your face. If you're trying to get into an idol series, you're gonna have the mechs in your face. That's a bonus for a lot of people. I don't think it's a negative typically, unless you just want to see idols and nothing else. But typically, as somebody who is an idol fan first and foremost, Macross is still very enjoyable even if you don't care about the mechs. They're just there, they're plot, it's fun. The mechs dance sometimes. That's true. Sometimes the mechs dance. So if you're into dancing, you could see a robot dance. At least once in the actual series, but you know, outside of the main series, I think there's a couple instances of that happening too. But yeah. And typically when you have mechs, you have military and action also as a theme. So typically at least one of the main characters is going to be a part of the military. Specifically, New United Nations Spacey is the organization in Macross. So all sorts of that. There's also some private organizations that are doing, yeah, there's some private organizations that do their own thing too, and they have mechs. But typically, it's part of the military, part of the New United Nations Spacey, that sort of stuff. Wait, is this an anime? It's a big question. Yes, it is an anime. An anime franchise spanning across 40 years. I love SMS. It's great for messaging. What was that? Oh, short for again. Mobile something. I have no idea what it's short for, but that's from Macross Frontier. They have a private military organization called SMS. Are there multiple timelines? Actually, yes, there are 2 timelines in the Macross universe. Believe it or not. Will Macross outlive us? I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Alright, but without further ado, I think that's enough explaining about what Macross is as a concept, as a giant thing. It's outlived Marley. You're correct. You're correct. Since I'm dead. The only anime I've seen with romance actually is the Quintessential Quintuplets. Really? If you don't dislike romance, there's plenty of good series. But you should ask about that ask that from me later, because I'm gonna give you so many recommendations. It's gonna be such a huge tangle. huge getting off topic kind of thing. So ask me later about my favorite romance animes and I will give you a lot of good lists for that. Is there a Macross series with no idols and only mechs? There is a Macross series with less idols, mostly mechs. I mean, using idols as a general term, because again, idols is not always what Macross has. Sometimes it's a rock band, sometimes it's a pop star, sometimes it's the girl on a desolated island just singing her folk songs. But there's always music. Music is always a part of the series. It's just the form in which the music is changes shape. I love some good romance anime, though to be fair, the bad romance anime are also good in their own ways. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I feel like I struggle to find an anime that isn't running a romance subplot. True. But when you go for an anime that has a mainline romance plot, not just a subplot, those are really good. Macross, however, it's always a subplot, but an important subplot, I would say. What we really need is the Macross where the singer just sings polka. Maybe. But, right, so moving on now. You should have had a good look at these 3 here, because now we're gonna talk more about them in the next slide, because I forgot this is also a part that I wanted to explain. So, if you're already being like, oh my gosh, I want to start watching Macross, where should I start? The answer is, technically, you can start almost anywhere you want. You can go for any individual series, and they are going to be independent stories. They do make references to past entries in the series. You're going to see space races. You're going to see the aliens that appeared in the previous series, and you may not be explained what those aliens are, but it's not going to take away from your experience of the series, typically. So if you really wanted to, you could start with a newer entry. And that's how I got into the series first. I'm pretty sure a lot of modern fans of Macross got into it through newer entries. Specifically, this here is Macross Frontier, Macross F. This one is a very, very excellent starting point to the Macross series. It has everything that a Macross series should have, and it's also well made. And it's good. It's peak Macross, basically. If you just want to have a quick glance at the series, you can watch Macross Frontier. But we'll get into that a little more in the later. You can start in the middle if you consider some series to be in the middle. Frontier might be my second favorite space series. I really like the sci-fi of it, but it could have done without the singing. No, the singing is important! Shut up! Right. It is an essential part of the show. You have to pay respect. Sure. But yes, Macross Frontier is a peak anime, in my opinion. It's definitely, if you don't want to see anything else, watch Macross Frontier. You can watch Macross Frontier as a TV series or as 2 movies. I don't think anybody has an excuse that they don't have enough time in their life to watch 2 movies. 2 movies could be all you need to see of Macross, and you would still have an excellent time. It is an objective fact. It's true. True. There is no fantasy Macross, although technically we have something of a mix of a goblin and a dragon in one entry, I suppose. They're just some weird space glomps. Alternatively, you can tune into the inevitable watch-along on the Discord. True, I have been doing Macross watch-alongs on the Discord. Right. For the most part, though, if you think you're committed, though, that you don't just want to watch a singular series, you can watch them in release order. Because I prefer release order over chronological order. There are prequels in the series. There are some entries that happened to release later, when technically you could have watched them 10 years ago just as well. But for the most part, I recommend the release order because that makes most sense. And some... Hold on, I lost the track of my thought. But release order is better because some entries don't make much... Well, they make sense, but if you want to understand them better, you benefit from seeing them in release order. Is there a Macross series that's in the format of better? Well, no, there's none of that. I don't know what that means. Chronology order is something that you could avoid. I would avoid chronology order because the very first entry, chronologically, is not a good representation of Macross as a franchise, in my opinion. But we will go over that in a bit. So, I have my own version of a good watch guide. It is either an abridged order or it's the full watch order. And we're gonna start this by pretending that you're going on with the full watch order. If you wanna see the abridged order, we're gonna talk about that later. But for now, full watch order is what I'm assuming you guys are interested in. So that's why we're gonna explain the individual series. What's the worst order to watch Macross in? Worst order. You would start with Macross 7, I think. I think that would be the worst way to get into Macross. I think Macross 7 would be the worst entry point. Specifically, get into Macross 7 through the movie Ginga Oreo Yonderu, something like that. Watch that one first. That one features some interesting plot lines. I think that would be the worst entry to Macross. You know, not even starting from the start of the series. Just go into the movie first, head first, and it would be a terrible way to get into the series, I think. So don't do that. Don't watch the Macross 7 movie first. Don't do that. Alright, so assuming you guys want to do this properly, you should start with Super Dimension Fortress Macross, also known as SDF Macross, the series which released in 1982. This is the way to get into the series first, if you want to be proper. And this works even if you're a little hesitant. Even if you're hesitant about getting into Macross, this works. This works because you can either consume it in the form of a TV series, which was 36 episodes to my memory, and there's also a movie version which condenses the events of the TV series. So you could just watch that movie. You don't have to go for the TV series. But if you're committed to looking at funny TV series with 80s anime graphics, go for it. I'm gonna promise you, it's gonna be a ride. But if old graphics bother you, you should just check out the movie, because the movie actually is movie budget. It's very gorgeous with its animation, and it's worth it for sure. And after you've seen either the TV series or the movie, or both, because I kind of recommend both if you're a completionist, then there's an epilogue OVA called Flashback 2012. That one features like 2 minutes of new content, and the rest of the hour is just a music video. But basically, there's a little bit of an epilogue to see what happens to the characters after the events of the series, I'm pretty sure. But it's just a short little thingy. If you watch the movie, the story is incomplete. You jump in somewhere in the middle. A little bit. It cuts off like the first couple episodes of the anime, but the main premise is still understandable. And it does not finish the anime. It does not finish the same way that the anime finishes. Because, well, it's been a little bit since I saw the TV version, but there's more content to be seen after the events of the movie that is in the TV version. It's I feel like they are worth it. They are definitely worth it to watch, but I feel like the actual movie condenses the story better, and those episodes that were left out, they were left out on purpose because the story makes more sense when you just consider it for the main plot line. The last 12 episodes, however many episodes, is a waste of time in your opinion? Well, I feel like if you care about the characters and you want to know what happens to them, and if you want to see that infamous gif of the baby being thrown, you could watch those episodes. But for the most part, if you're hesitant, but you're curious, you should watch the movie. The movie is also very, very highly rated. Considered to be one of the best old anime movies. So, it's just worth watching for that alone. I think in the Japanese anime community, it's very highly appreciated. We lost the interracial marriage. We did lose that in the TV version. But no, we lost that in the movie version. But it is there in the TV. Worth watching it. Definitely. Right. And here you also notice this word Robotech. You guys will not be able to type that in chat because that's a banned word. We do not speak of Robotech in any more sense than an educational quick glance of it. So, you may be familiar with Macross through Robotech, which is the franchise under which Macross was shoved into when it was originally released in America and the West back in the 80s, I'm pretty sure. Basically, Robotech is a mangled usage of 3 different anime put together, and it's basically terrible if you want to actually care about the original series. The Macross saga of Robotech is the least affected by this, from what I've heard, but the other 2 are like completely fucked up. However, Robotech is still inferior. You may think of it, oh, it's just an English dub of the series. No, to my knowledge, it cuts out some moments, it makes things not properly work, it's terrible, bad, blah, blah, blah. I will be able to say that with confidence once I've watched that in a watch along with you guys, because I promise to do that at some point. So, yeah. Why would they put a different anime into another anime for the US release? The reason why that happened originally, I think, is because the company Harmony Gold, also known as literal spawns of evil nowadays, back then, they didn't really have a choice. I think it was something about having to license all of them, and then when they had to air it on TV, they had to have a certain amount of episodes or it would not have gotten aired on TV or something like that, something along those lines. At the time, it was a necessary evil to get them in here. However, where Harmony Gold turns evil is the fact that they get super attached to this Robotech series that they've created by mingling together other anime series, and now they are refusing the original Japanese series to come to the West in their original form. They want their badly mingled together mess to be the only thing that people can see in the West. And for Macross, this not only affected the original series, where the original series could not be aired in or like shown properly legally in the West, but it also affected the sequels, where the sequels would not be released after a certain point because Harmony Gold was like, no, Robotech is better. You guys should not look at those other sequels to Macross, because the real Macross sequels, they're bad. They're scary. They don't have an English dub. Don't go look at those. So they would never allow the Macross license to be given to other people who would license those shows. So they were holding the Macross franchise hostage by not releasing the series to the West, aside from their own mangled mess. To my knowledge, Macross 2 and Macross Plus got released in some form, but after that, none of the other series, like 7, Frontier, and Delta, none of them have had an official release in the West yet. However, there's been some agreements in the recent years, and there's plans for Blu-rays to be released for the later entries. So we're in a better timeline by now. But if we go back 5 years, it was hell being a Macross fan in the West. Nowadays, we at least have the Macross music on streaming services, and we have something else in the West too. What do we have? well, aside from the Blu-ray plans, well, there's some merch in some stores, I suppose. It's slowly coming to the West, basically, slowly. The only movie they've made in that time is also terrible. True. The Robotech movie. That's what I've heard. Harmony Gold also sold the rights to use the designs feature illegally to another company. Right. They've done a lot of shady shit. So at the time, it was a necessary evil, but they continued being evil. I wonder if the people behind Macross could just buy Harmony Gold. Big West is definitely a bigger company, I think. But I think it's just about Harmony Gold being stubborn, and they would never want that to happen. Yeah, they just refused the merger, I'm pretty sure. And let's see. Is there anything else I should mention? Oh yes. So the way Big West and overall the Japanese creators of Macross have in the past have dealt with the band in the West is that on the Japanese Blu-rays for, I'm pretty sure it's the Macross Frontier movies onwards, where it's Macross Frontier movies, Macross Delta TV series, and Macross Delta movies, they have English subtitles on those Blu-rays. So the Western fans could have enjoyed them by importing those movies and their subtitles. And the Delta TV series. So Big West and so on, they've always known that we have Western fans. That's why they've definitely tried to fight Harmony Gold. So it's not just that, oh, I guess we're out of luck. We don't really want to bring Macross to the West. Or just the pure ignorance of the Western fandom. That was never the case. They always wanted to bring it to the West, but Harmony Gold was blocking it. So the small ways that they could do it was including English subtitles on the Blu-rays. Yes. But going back to now, or should we? Harmony Gold lost a bunch of lawsuits recently, so maybe thinking a little bit. Yes. That would be awesome. I am part of that fandom part of Macross fandom where I wish Harmony Gold a very good die. One of the Macross mechs actually being used to create another character in an entirely different franchise made by a whole different company. Yep, we can probably blame Harmony Gold for that. That definitely sounds like something they would have orchestrated. But yeah, ignoring all the negative stigma that Macross has in the West, SDF Macross is genuinely a very good series. Genuinely. It is also very, very iconic because it popularized transforming mechs alongside Gundam back in the day. They were not super popular yet, apparently. I mean, mech and mecha was popular to my knowledge, but the fact that they transformed was something Macross helped popularize. And Macross Super Dimensional Fortress Macross is also known for creating the template anime idol with Lin Minmei. This girl right here. She is the template. Without her, none of your Honoka Kosakas and none of your Shimamura Uzukis would exist. None of the other idols that are nowadays popular, they would not be here in the same form as they are without her. She is the anime character that popularized the idea of an idol being in an anime. Idols, yeah, basically that's what I'm talking about. None of your Yurikas, none of your idols nowadays. They wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be here. She is the one who made it so the other idols could walk. And that does not mean that she is somehow, like, because she's the old one, like, oh, she's inferior, then the newer idols are better or somehow. No, she's still a very good idol in an anime. And Nezumi the Stripes, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. So yeah, Minmei has a lot of songs in anime. It's not just a single song that an idol would sing as a background character. No, she has an entire albums. She has had concerts in real life, I'm pretty sure, because all of the idols have had them. So she's very much a character that was established to be an idol and that has been held on to. Someone by Talk of Macross, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. we welcome anybody who is a base Macross enjoyer. And lastly, I want to mention that the events that happen in Super Dimensional Fortress are during 2009, in Universe 2009. So at the time, it was about, what, 40 years into the future? About 40 years into the future is when they, it's like it's basic sci-fi. They imagine the future in so many years. In Macross's case, that was originally 40 years. But as we know, 2009 has passed by now. So it's very funny to kind of look at some of the stuff in the series where it's like, oh, we already have the flying cars apparently 15 years ago. Oh, apparently they were a thing back then. And all other kind of fun sci-fi stuff. I'm a fan of old sci-fi because it's really funny to look at what they imagined the future to be when it actually didn't end up like that at all. So that alone could be a little bit of a selling point to get into Macross, the old series. That's 30. Is it? Was 2009 30 years ago? No, it wasn't. Or, wait, 80? No. Oh, the 80 and the 9, that's 30. See, I can't do math, but just believe me. We got the numbers on the slide, so you can do the math yourself if I fuck up. Alright, but yeah. Basically, that's Super Dimension Fortress Macross. The plot focuses on this pilot guy right here and how he meets this girl who dreams of becoming an idol, but suddenly this giant alien race attacks the humans and they have to escape on their human spaceship to the space, and lots of drama, lots of mech fighting, lots of cool stuff happens. That's basically the plot in a nutshell. If I'm a teacher, why is my math not mathing? Because I'm not a math teacher! What? Maybe I'm an English teacher. That would make more sense for explaining a work of fiction, right? We technically had flying cars in the 70s? I'm gonna need some proof of that. History teacher, that could also work, yes. If any aliens can get to our planet, escape has no hope. Well, they definitely do get on the planet at some point. I am the teacher of Macross, that's what I am. Why would a ghost know math? I don't know math. Our spacecraft can compete. That is actually a part of the lore in Macross, is that the spacecraft that we have on Earth in the Macross series is based on the tech that the aliens have. So humans themselves did not develop the powers to go into space. An alien spacecraft crashed, and then we reverse engineered their technology. So it is very much inferior, probably because at the point in Super Dimension Fortress Macross, it is very much something that they just are getting the hang of. They've never launched this thing into space before, but suddenly the aliens attack and then they have to launch into space. This all happens in like episode 1, by the way, so I'm not spoiling anything. So yeah, it's a very, very cool series, basically. But I think with that, we can establish the fact that 1982 has passed and it is suddenly 1992. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years since the original Macross released, and Big West is like, hey, we should make a sequel to that anime that was super popular. We should make a sequel. And Studio Nue, who was the original creator, was like, meh, we don't really feel like that. You can make a sequel on your own. So Big West goes on, makes Macross 2, Lovers Again. And what happens is that it doesn't really get very well critically. It doesn't really ring with the critics. They think it's kind of repetitive. And basically, for a modern Macross fan, it's basically skippable. You don't need to watch it. It's not considered canon anymore because plot twist, Studio New comes back and they decide to make more Macross sequels after they go back on the word that they said Big Quest that, we don't really care. So, basically. Aired. Sorry, I mean, because Macross 2 was an OVA series, it never aired. My bad. They didn't bring their lovers a game. Something like that. I've never actually seen Planetes, but that's on my list of anime I should someday get into. Who's the owner of Macross now? It is still Studio Nue, I think, but Big West is definitely still part of it. I think they probably co-share the ownership, though I'm not 100% certain. But at the very least, Big West has always been there. Big West is still 100% around. So if nobody else, Big West has got the rights. But over the years, multiple studios ended up producing the anime. So it's been multiple studios, but probably Big West is the one with the most rights. Probably. Studio Nue, it is currently on screen. So yeah, because Studio Nue ends up being like, we should make a sequel instead. The events of Macross 2 are considered to be non-canon, and they're considered to be a part of a parallel timeline where none of the other entries ever happen. So if none of the other entries ever happen, and almost 100 years passes, Macross 2 is what happens, basically. And the funny thing really is, according to my knowledge, I did not hear this from anyone else. This is according to my own knowledge. Macross 2 has not been officially really acknowledged or represented since Delta aired. Fuck, there's a... oh, there's a typo there. That's what you meant. Aired, that's what it's supposed to say. So basically, there has been no Macross 2 merch. Wait, no, there was one set of Macross 2 merch, I think. One set of GB merch for Macross 2. I'm pretty sure. Just one tiny bit of GB merch that was released for it. In the past, like, 10 years or something. To my knowledge. Because, like, every time the franchise has celebrated anniversaries, there's been crossover games. Macross 2 has not been featured in those. And it just kind of feels like the creators and the people currently making Macross, they kind of probably want you to forget that this happened altogether. That's kind of my current understanding of the series. So, yeah. What happens in Macross 2, plot-wise though, is that we have this guy, I forgot his name, but he's a journalist. And then this alien girl comes to Earth. And then there's some drama with the aliens once again. and then she sings. That's about it. It's been a little while since I watched it. Did Harmony Gold own the license though? I'm not sure if Harmony Gold owned the license, but this did get a release in the West. It did have a VHS, and it also was released as those what are they called? Like magazines, because like back in the 90s, I'm pretty sure manga in the USA was released in some kind of magazines also, not just like as the little books and whatever, but also as magazines. And Macross 2 had a magazine release, and I own that. I know that because I own that magazine of Macross 2. It's a cool part of my collection. So it had a release in the West. And it was not branded as part of Robotech. So this was before Harmony Gold was like, fuck everything Macross. You guys are never getting anything Macross. And currently, for Macross 2, there is a Blu-ray release in the works in the West. That I'm pretty sure the pre-order period was back in January. So you probably cannot buy it yet. But the Blu-rays are in production. And I'm pretty sure once they are shipped out to the to the Kickstarter supporters, it will probably be available to the public also in limited quantity. So I will be talking about it probably when it happens, because you guys will hear when my own copies of this arrive, because I did support the Kickstarter just because I wanted to support everything Macross in the West as much as possible. So I got myself a copy of the Blu-rays and an art book. I'm pretty sure that's what they're releasing, and I'm getting those whenever they're ready. This was not my university thesis. Nothing Macross would ever make it out to the university. Well, I don't know how I would try to make it work with my degree and whatever, but for the most part, I just made this PowerPoint presentation because I wanted to talk about Macross, and I'm a bit of a nerd. So that's what we're doing here. Yeah. All right. Also, one thing I want to note again is that this set is set in is set in 2092, which is actually the oldest, the furthest back, the furthest into future a Macross entry is. So it will be interesting to see if future Macross entries go to the 2000s. Is that how you read the number 2100s? If they go into those numbers, it's interesting to see if they will start making the events of these series come back into the canon or not, but probably not. So you make a severely confused. Yeah, so yeah, this is an entry that was probably canon at the time for 2 years until Studio knew it, produced their own sequel to Macross with Macross Plus. So it was canon for probably 2 years, or maybe more into the future. But nowadays, if you look at the timeline, it looks like it was canon for 2 years until Studio knew it came up with their own sequel called Macross Plus. A Wugan YF19, so true. You could have asked me if I knew which one that mech is, and I would have, you know, probably gotten it right. Now you didn't give me a chance to know the name of the mech. But yes, Macross Plus started releasing as an OVA in 1994 in August. This is important because we have something else happening the same year also. And it was later turned into a movie once the actual OVA finished airing, and they wanted to kind of jumble the scenes around, add a couple new scenes, and then the movie came about. Then the movie is the one that we watched in the Discord movie night a little while ago. And notably, Macross Plus is a lot more mature than the original SDF Macross. Because this time around, all the characters that are important, they are all over 20 years old. And a lot of the themes in the series are more mature. It's not just about some cutesy idol girl singing anymore. It's not about just some space race between aliens anymore. The main conflict in this series is actually against an AI. Ooh, spooky AI. Do they call it an AI in the series? I forgot. But it's basically an evil singer that predated. Please look at the timeline. 1994. It was 10 years before Vocaloid was released. This was 10 years before Vocaloid. Macross predicted that there will be virtual idols, singers that rely on virtual appearances, all that stuff. Macross predicted that, and it is really, really similar to how we nowadays consume virtual idols. We go to a concert with a hologram. That's exactly what happens in this movie. It's crazy. So also, if you are a fan of Vocaloid, you may be aware of Macross Plus because of this fact. Macross's villain predated VTubers. Definitely. 100%. 100%. Sharon Apple, the original Vocaloid VTuber. So true. This is Sharon Apple. She is the main musical artist of the series. Yes. And on top of that, Macross Plus is also notable for being loved by everybody who likes mechs. Because this specific mech right here is considered to be the best mech in the entire franchise. The YF19. People, they love it. Macross fans who care about the mechs, they love this thing. And I do admit it looks pretty sleek. You'll see a better picture of it later. But it's basically a good part of this movie. If you just want to see a cool looking plane fly around and turn into a human sometimes, you probably want to see this movie. Sharon, Apple a day to get all those Facebook doctors. So true. What's the one on the left? Is it 23? It's in the 20s, right? Or is it 17? Which 20? Fuck. Okay, 23, lock in. I'm locking in 23. There's a model kit for basically every mech in Macross. Loud incorrect buzzer. Fuck. Okay, 21? 21, locking in? Yeah, I got it! Okay. Marley could take this presentation and turn it into a convention workshop if she is spicy. Well, I'm too afraid of conventions, so I think this is just gonna stay as a stream and a VOD for you guys to enjoy. But yeah, basically, Macross Plus, very cool. Very cool for the thematic things in it, very cool for the mechs in it. And it's also just a really, really good movie in general. If you are alright with a bit of adult drama between 3 childhood friends who grew apart and now meet again after 3 to 5 years, something like that. They meet again and they try to sort out their relationships. Basically, that's what happens in the movie. It's very messy, relationship drama, very messy, but it's really good. Really, really good. I want to see Marley in a convention. Alright, okay. I would go to a convention as a guest, probably, but I would not go there to hold a presentation. Actually, 10 out of 10. Exactly. Macross Plus is so good. And the older you get, if you watch this series when you're 16, like I probably first did, or something like that, maybe I was 14, I don't know, you're not gonna really get it. You're not really gonna appreciate it. You're gonna think it's weird. But when you watch it when you're 24, you're gonna love the shit out of it. Basically. The older you get, the better you appreciate the plot of this series. But next up, we should consider what else happened in 1994. 1994 was the time that Macross Plus came out as an OVA, but also Macross 7 was released as a TV series. So the 90s for a Macross fan were pretty crazy. There were 3 different separate Macross entries in the 90s, which is kind of crazy. That will never happen again. Let's do a quick stretch before we explain any more of that. Macross peak animation reuse. Yeah, alright. So getting to that. If you guys think that this slide is messy, if you think it's a little messy, that's because the series is a little messy. So I felt like making a messy PowerPoint slide is pretty representative of the series altogether. I mentioned that the movie for the series would be the worst starting point, and yeah, it basically will be, but the main series alone is probably one of the worst ones to start out with. Just because Macross 7 is very quirky. You're either gonna love the hell out of it, or you're gonna not get it. That's basically the vibes of Macross 7. It very much suffers from being a 90s TV series where it has the repeated scenes, it has reused animation. The same songs play in multiple episodes. It's pretty jarring if you're not ready for that sort of stuff. But the actual plot... sorry. But the actual plot of the series is pretty good. It's pretty good. But more than the plot, this series highly, highly relies on its characters. You end up spending like probably 40 episodes with them. I forgot how many episodes in the series are because there's so many. But there's a lot. And because there's so many of them, there's a lot of chances to do character development. And it happens. For the most part, it does happen. And the character dynamics between the characters change. And the funniest part is that, so we have gifts of the main trio. We have Mylene, the cute girl, she's 14. Before you think of anything, she's 14. And then we have Basara, he eats leaves. That's important. He does this. This is a real thing that happens in the anime. He just does that. And you may be like, what the fuck is the context for him doing that? There's no context. He just does that. He just does that once when he's like sitting on a rock or something, staring into the distance. He just does this. We love him. Well, okay. Other than that, he is the lead singer and composer of a rock band. So he's a little peculiar, but we do love him. Basara, I think he's 18, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though. I think he's 18 or around there. Maybe 20, 18, 20, around there. And then we have Gamlin, who is also part of the main trio. This is a very good representation of him also, because he's a little softy boy. He's just a little softy boy. He's a guy in the military who does well. He has lots of awards or whatever. I don't know what they're called. Medals, probably. He's a cool guy at only age 16 or 17 or something like that. He does not look 18. I know, but he is. He is. Believe me. But yeah. Basically, this is the main trio. It's a guy who's just a military guy. And it's Malene. And then it's Basara. Milan, she hates everything her mom stands for. Her mom is actually a reoccurring character from a previous entry, being Super Dimensional Fortress. And it makes kind of sense, because technically this was probably in the works as they were making Macross Plus 2. So they kind of wanted to use the same characters for this entry and not for Macross Plus. So we have reoccurring characters, these two. And this is their kid. And she is, and according to her mom, she's getting engaged to this guy. And she hates her mom. Or like what her mom wants her to do. So she's like, I'm not gonna marry this guy, fuck that. And she's like, I'm gonna join a rock band because I am a free spirit, age 14. And then she probably kind of ends up getting a crush on Basara at some point. And then it's a drama between the three of them. It's just a kid. And then she got 2 crushes at some point. It's like, oh my god. It's the relationship drama in this series. You're not going into it for the romance. I'm gonna tell you guys, if you want romance out of Macross, don't watch Macross 7. There's no real romance in it. It's just a 14-year-old girl crushing on some guys. Very typical for a 14-year-old teen. That's what I'm saying. So personally, a lot of people might watch the series and be like, man, she's annoying. But she's literally a 14-year-old. I think she is one of the best 14-year-olds represented in anime ever. She is so realistic for a 14-year-old girl. If you think she's annoying, you would think every single 14-year-old girl is annoying. But I love her for that. I really, really love her for that. I think she's a good character. All the characters in this series, they really are good characters. There's a lot of time spent with them and they all make sense. They're good characters. And there's good chemistry between all of them. And I believe in fandom, the most popular ship is probably, well, I don't know how good my representation of, or like understanding of the Macross 7 fandom is, but a lot of people ship Basara and Gamling together. So this is the gay ship of Macross. So these two, they apparently have a very good chemistry, honestly. I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you watch it, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see that they have some good chemistry between each other. It makes sense. They absolutely are not gay in canon. They absolutely are not gay in canon, but the fandom understanding of the two of them is that they should totally fuck. Fujio's right up. Basically. If you are a Fujoshi, you will get it. You will see it. You will get it. You will be like, these two characters will be the best enemies to lovers ever. You will get it. And I'm not even a Fujoshi, but I see it. It makes sense. But as you can probably understand, Macross 7 is really, really long. It's really long. You have to sit through the entire TV series. You have to sit through the movie and 2 OVAs to get the full story. The full story of what happens in this. And unfortunately, every other Macross series up to this point has been kind of short or has a movie version that condenses everything. But for Macross 7, there was never a condensed version. So if you're gonna watch Macross 7, you have to commit. You have to commit and watch everything, unfortunately. So that's also why I think this is the worst part to get into the series. Because if you just want to get a taste of a big franchise, you're not gonna start with a giant beast that has some pacing issues and is sort of slow and repetitive and has some other issues with it. You should go to the good entries. Macross 7 is still good though, don't get me wrong. It's good. It's stupid as fuck, but it's so funny. And it's fun. And there's also some lore in there, because they've got a lot of time with the episodes, so they have some lore in there. And they do a lot more world building than the original series had, in my opinion. But it's all good. It's all the reason why we like Macross 7, because there's lots of exploration of themes that didn't get time to get explored in Super Dimensional Fortress. It's very fun. So if you want to get into Macross 7, you will probably end up doing it for the great characters, or because you like the 90s J-Rock. because the rock band music, it's legit. I do think Macross 7's music is pretty good. Because the ship was called Macross 7. Yes, that's right. The main... So basically in the lore of Macross, they sent out these giant spaceships. And this was the 7th giant spaceship that they sent out into the space. The 1 to 6 exist in lore, but we have not... Well, actually, I'm not sure if some of the games or other spin-offs explore the other Macross fleets. They might. But for the most part, Macross 7 is one of the ones that exists, and it just happens to set... The series just happens to be set place on that, because the original series, the Macross, I didn't explain it, but Macross as a term, it talks about the giant ships in the series. They have been named the Macross. So each entry is always named after whatever ship they're on. I'm pretty sure. So I think Macross Delta and Zero are an exception to that. But for the most part, typically the names come from that. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about Macross 7, except you should also look at this girl. This girl is the best girl. She is literally the best character in all of Macross. You will understand it if you sit through the entirety of Macross 7. Yeah, basically, she is the best girl. You will understand it if you literally watch the entire series. Then you will understand why she is best girl. I have yet to see anybody who has disagreed with me, at least fundamentally. Everybody who has seen the anime, they get it. They get it when I say she is best girl. They get it. She is a character that nobody hates. And then we also had, you know, if you're still doubting Macross 7, do you see this cute little thing? Do you want to see a cute little space alien pet that's just a hairy ball of hair? Macross 7 has that cute little creature that's just cute. It's the best of everything. And also, we got aliens. You know, we got humanoid, scary aliens, as usual. Yeah, girl with the flowers. She does not have an official name. We know her as Flower Girl in the West, and in the Japan, she is known as Hanataba no Shoujo, I'm pretty sure. So she's quite literally the girl with the flowers. That's literally. She doesn't even have a name, but she is best girl. Macross Illusion probably wouldn't have been a good series name. True. But yeah, so after Macross 7, we're not gonna see another Macross series until the 2000s with Macross Zero, which once again was an OVA series. OVA. So not shown in TVs. And from what I understood, the episodes kind of aired, or not aired, they were released partially, so that this series was not done for like at least 4 years, I'm pretty sure. But back to Zero. Quite literally. Macross Zero happens to be a prequel to the events of SDF. SDF takes place in 2009, this takes place in 2008. So, before the aliens come. But they may have some influence on Earth already. So, it takes place not in Japan, not on a spacecraft, but it takes place on a desolated island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And there happens to be some natives who live there. But basically, the reason it takes place in there is because this main pilot guy, he crash lands in there. And then he gets to meet the girls and whatever. These are the 2 girls of the series. Only one of them is a singer. The older sister, she sings. They're siblings, yes. Let me get to the mech porn. You're just gonna have to you're gonna have to let me explain the rest of the series first, okay? Okay? But yeah. Basically, it's about this guy who gets stranded on an island, and there's some girls in there, and one of the girls sings or something. And suddenly there's some heavy lore implications that the island is somehow connected to the entire fate of the humanity somehow. And it's very, very cool, very lore heavy. You will go into it and you will feel very, about the whole thing. And this is one of the entries that I do not recommend as your first Macross series. The only reason I don't recommend it is because it doesn't really have the same vibe as the rest of Macross as a franchise. Macross 7 is still very fundamentally Macross, and I wouldn't recommend it because it's a bit of a messy thing to get through. But Macross Zero, I don't recommend because it's just not that Macross at heart. It's lacking in the music department, basically. It doesn't have idols, which could be a good thing for some of you, but for someone like me, that's a big deal. It still has a girl who sings, but she's not an idol, and that's not the main part of the series at all. She just kind of sings in one scene, and that's about it. Do we want to get into the 3D mech porn? Fine, we'll get into the 3D mech porn. Fine. I think I'm done explaining about the girl who doesn't sing. The reason this is 3D mech porn is because for its time, for 2002, you would imagine, okay, 3D and anime, God, that would be awful and terrible. No! The 3D dogfights in this anime, they still look good to this day! So if you're a big mech head, if you want to see some awesome aerial fights, you're gonna love the shit out of this series. You're gonna see not fucking robots, but you're gonna see basically the equivalent. If you guys have heard of food porn as a terminology, this is the same equivalent but for mechs. That's what I mean by that. That is a common terminology used somewhere, okay? But I need to put it out there because it's true. If you genuinely like mechs and you think the concept of 3D mech animation will be awesome, you're gonna love the shit out of this series because the animation is so good. Everybody loves it. Listen to the chat. You see the people in the chat. They get me. They understand why I said this. They all agree with me. This is the correct terminology. If you like mechs, you can watch this series and be amazed by the mechs looking really good. So that's what we mean by mech porn, okay? If you want to have the other meaning of porn, you can look that up. I'm sure Macross as a franchise is big enough for you to see porn of every single character at this point. Can you hold on for a minute? I have to go watch it. I can talk more about something else in here. What should we talk about Macross Zero? Well, it's lore heavy. You gotta understand, if you go into this, you go into it as somebody who loves lore, who wants to know more about the universe of Macross, you will love it. But if you also just want to see it for the mechs, you will love it. Girls. This is actually not the Macross you want to go to if you want to see girls. Well, okay, there is a naked girl in one scene. So if you just want to see a naked girl with no other context to it, yeah, I guess this is your scene, your anime. To be fair, I'm pretty sure every single Macross has a scene where a girl is naked at this point. Does Macross Delta have a scene where a girl is naked? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Every single Macross series has a scene where a girl is naked. If you like men, there are men. The main character is a man. He's a man. Shin is a man. His name is Shin. Shin Kudo. He's a man. I guess this guy is interesting. This guy here too. And then there's this lady too. You can see her sort of. She's a lady. These are the villains basically. This is the only one I'm interested in at the moment. No worries. Welcome back, Sayora. The only thing I explain... No, there is no naked man on the screen right now. There is no naked men on the screen right now. There's no naked men in Macross, I think. Only naked girls every now and then. I don't think there's naked men. I don't think so. There's shirtless men in Macross, maybe. There's a man in a crop top. Okay, there's a man in a crop top in Macross Zero. There's a man in a crop top. Is that good enough? I'm sure some people will enjoy a man in a crop top, okay? Not naked, so no! In general, I don't think there's naked men in Macross. I don't remember that anyway. If I did, I erased it from my memory because that was a terrifying sight. You're watching it. Consider watching at least, if you guys are interested in Macross Zero, based on what I said, if you're interested in the mech, please watch at least Super Dimensional Fortress. Macross, the movie, Do You Remember Love first. You can handle one movie before this OVA series. The events of this will make so much more sense to you. The lore, because like a lot of stuff is also not really explained, but it will make so much more sense for you. You will enjoy it so much more if you watch the original movie first. So basically, I don't recommend you start Macross as a franchise here because it's just not Macross in heart. It is, but it's also not. It's different. It's different than the other series. So if you watch this thinking this is a good representation of Macross that will be wrong. This is a good series. It is a good piece of media. It's very good if you're a mech enjoyer. But it's not a good entry to the Macross franchise, in my opinion. Yes. That's kind of all I wanted to say on Macross Zero. And that brings us to everybody's favorite entry in the Macross franchise, if you're not a mech head. Macross Frontier! Whoopee! Okay, give some hype for Macross Frontier in the chat. Do yell a lot because we're like Macross Frontier. Yippee! Oh no, shut the fuck up, boyfriend. Yippee! Whoa! Yo! So true. That's the kind of reactions I want. Idol in mecha anime, so true! Yippee! Yay! Woo! Exactly. Legacy, also shut the fuck up. So, we have now gotten to Macross Frontier, which is widely considered to be the best entry in the series. It is considered best by people who like mechs. It is considered best by people who like idols. It is considered best people who like romance. Well, the ending is kind of a meh for the romance enjoyers, but everybody else probably loves it. And welcome, Matthew. We're doing good. Currently, I'm talking about my favorite franchise, Macross. I'm explaining it one series at a time right now. We've come to the point where at least 30 years have passed since the original series, and we are now at Macross Frontier, which is literally the anime part of Macross. This is where Macross became anime. This is where we have the character tropes with the characters, and it's like, it's so anime. It's not the most modern thing out there, but it's what I personally consider anime. This one looks the most anime out of all Macrosses to me. Recently got into anime, but never seen Macross. If you wanted to, you could definitely watch Macross. And Macross Frontier happens to be the one entry that is very, very good to start. If you don't want to commit to Macross as an entire franchise spanning 40 years of different kinds of musical and animated entries, if you just want to give it a shot, highly recommended is Macross Frontier. You can get the gist of it in just 2 movies. The movies, Itsubari no Utahime, or The False Songstress, and Sayonara no Tsubasa, The Wings of Goodbye, are the 2, in my opinion, one of the best Macross movies out there. They're so good. It is not on Crunchyroll though, unfortunately, but it is very, very good. This is also, you could say that this is where Macross became Mac Idol Cross, but the original Macross were already Mac Idol Cross. If you were the kind of guy who ignored Min-Mei's existence in the original Macross, you probably didn't notice that there were idols in Macross. But Macross Frontier, 2007, idols were the hot boom. So, but here's a little bit of a controversial take. I think Ranka is 100% an idol. She 100% does things that idols do. And I think she's really cute. She's literally one of my best girls of all time, in all media ever. She's one of my favorite characters of all time. I love Ranka Lee. She's cute. She's perfect. She's literally what a girl should be. She's so cute. On the contrary, we have Cheryl Gnome. And I think she is not an idol. I think she is a pop star. She's basically Britney Spears. I'm gonna be very honest with you. She's like Britney Spears, where Ranka Lee will be just an idol. She's Britney Spears. Literally, some of her musical songs, they literally sound like Western American songs. Biggest Macross fan about to watch another Macross show after F. Yeah. Ranka also got scouted. Yes, she got scouted. Quite literally. She's so idol. She does idol things in the show. She's just an idol. And for contrast, Cheryl is definitely more of a pop star. We see her do a lot of like modeling and that sort of stuff. We see her pull off concerts. We see her have amazing stage persona, all that kind of stuff. She's a pop star through and through. Pop star and idol are kind of the same thing if you really think about it. But if you personally consider yourself an idol fan, you will know that pop stars are different. And when you watch the series, if you don't care about idols, you don't care about music, they're gonna look like the same to you. But for some of you who may consider that there's a difference, you will see that there's a difference. The MC got 2 wives? Well, basically, I'm not gonna spoil the ending of Macross Frontier, but Macross Frontier is one of the most vague endings to the love triangles in all of Macross. Alto, this guy, personally, I hate him. I hate his guts. I think he's a wimpy, weak, blah, 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 indecisive bitch. And Cheryl and Ranka should date each other instead, because they should not think about this sort of guy who can't even decide between them. And you will see the vibe of that instantly when you watch the series. It is not really a spoiler. He's kind of an idol himself, a little bit. The MC used to be in the entertainment industry in his youth, but he hates it nowadays. That's kind of the starting point for his character. Ranka deserves better than Cheryl? I don't know. I like Cheryl personally. Cheryl is a bit of an interesting character too. I like her a lot too. She's whimsical, she's a little selfish, but she's only that way because she finally has a bit of a moment to be herself when she's around Alto. And it's awesome. There's really good chemistry between the two of them. And I think the kind of... Well, Alto and Ranka also have a lot of chemistry between each other. But I see a lot of people kind of support Cheryl in the end for being with Alto. And it makes sense. They've got a great chemistry. Me say no further without spoiling. Yeah. Alto is lame. So glad you agree. So glad you agree, boyfriend. This is why you're best boyfriend. You agree that Alto is lame. I'm not spoiling anything. I am not spoiling things. I am saying that the only thing I'm saying is that this is the most vague love triangle in the entire franchise. It doesn't end with 100% if they're with this girl or 100% they're with that girl. It's just that the fandom leans towards Cheryl a little more, probably. Stop making Louis Gleese's eggs go up. What? Maybe. But yeah. I wonder if there's anything else I should mention of Macross Frontier. Not me. Oh, sorry. Definitely love triangle. It is so Macross, inherently Macross. Because love triangles are one of the core elements of Macross. And this series has every core element. They've taken them to the max. We got music to the max. We got mechs to the max. Well, there's not really that many pictures of the mechs, but people do like the mechs in this series too. And I think the mech animation that they going on is pretty good too, probably. The mech heads would know better, but Macross Frontier is really, really successful. And now it still gets merch to this day. They just announced new figures of Ranka and Cheryl like a month ago. Literally, there's new merch of this series all the time. They still keep making the model kits of the mechs and everything. What is the main mech? The main mech is the YF... 35? It's not YF, fuck! You do need to watch it. I have not talked about the main plot of the series at all. I have not mentioned the aliens. I've not mentioned literally any of the other characters that are part of the main cast, and they also are all very well developed as characters. You've heard nothing about the series. It's just that the romance part of it is vague, but it's still well done. It's still worth a watch. What's the main mech? I don't remember the name of it. But just as Zully said, they were so into love triangles as a concept for Macross that the current entry, the current most newest entry, is literally based on triangles. We got it in a logo, Macross Delta. Delta itself is a type of triangle, isn't it? And most importantly, according to mech heads, the Macross Delta has the Drakens! Whoopee! The mechs are there. And Macross Delta, though, ironically, for Macross Delta, there's actually 2 love triangles in the series. There's the one between the main trio, and then there's the one between Kaname, Messer, and Arad. Those 3. They're all side characters. Kaname is this idol girl right here. They're all... But yes. So the sidelines love triangle, in my opinion, is a lot more compelling, a lot more interesting than the main triangle. And this is something a lot of people will agree, that the main triangle in this is a little lackluster. I'm not gonna spoil who this main guy ends up with, because Macross Delta is also one of the ones that's very clear about which one of the girls ends up with the guy. It's very clear about it. But... But basically, because of that, the other half of the triangle is sort of lackluster. Side couples are always superior, I suppose. The side couples in Macross are also so good. There's so many good side character couples in Macross. I haven't talked about them too much because it's not part of the main explanation of what Macross is. But aside from the main couple, there's always sideline couples in the series, and those are often so well done. It's really fun. But I think this is the first time there's an actual triangle between the side characters too. That's like a major part of the plot. So it's like, it's very fun. Very, very fun to see it work out in the sidelines. And it's actually so compelling. You can never have too many triangles. That's right, that's right. But yeah, aside from that, Macross Delta is undeniably known a lot more for the fact that it's the idoliest shit out there. It is so idol that the idol characters have a magical girl transformation in the series. While it makes completely sense in lore, you will understand they got technology. It's 2067. They got technology to do magical girl transformations live on concerts. This is still the entry that the old men look at and they're like, God damn, what's wrong with this idol shit? Remember the good old days when Macross didn't have idols? And they pretend that Minmay doesn't exist. They got idol tech now. They've got technology for cool concerts in Macross ever since Macross Plus with the holograms. So if the holographic idol had holograms in Macross Plus back in 2040s, you can bet that the other artists started using some sort of holographic technology on stage too. It's really, really well explored in Macross Frontier. You will get to see some awesome stage choreography in Macross Frontier, which is also why Macross Frontier is so good. But in Macross Delta, the technology is utilized even more with the idols. It's really fun. Utada Genki! There's a lot of fun idol stuff in Macross Delta. So if you're an idol enjoyer, You're gonna love this, even though Macross Delta is also kind of acknowledged as having some pacing issues and that a lot of the characters end up kind of flat. Because Macross has always had a large cast of characters, but in Macross Delta, they somehow had even more sort of characters in an important role, and they did not really end up having enough time to develop everybody's character. And a lot of them end up feeling kind of flat. Even the villains, there's a lot of like these are all the villain guys here. By the way, the red hair guy, Bogue, he's literally best boy. I think he's really fucking cute. You will understand why Bogue is cute. If you are a woman, you will see this man and you're like, damn, he's cute. So if you want to see the cutest man in all of Macross, it's Bogue. He's so cute. I love him. Mirage's best girl, purple hair, pilot equals best. She is very good too, as a girl. They packed too much into this one. Yeah, it kind of feels like that. They packed a lot into it. It's full of Macross. It's full of Macross stuff. But they kind of didn't have time for everything. It only had the typical 27 episodes. No, 24 episodes. And the movies that you see that appeared afterwards. The first movie was a condensed version of the 24 episodes. So the first movie of Macross Delta, I cannot recommend it like I recommend Macross Frontier's movie that is a recap movie. Because Macross Frontier's recap movie was done a lot better. But for Macross Delta, the story itself was so packed that the recap movie kind of ends up feeling lackluster too. But if you're just into Macross Delta to just hear the music and whatever, you can watch the recap movie and get the story as much as you want. The sequel movie, however, Zettai Live is the sequel movie. That one is so good. The sequel movie, we forgive everything the TV series and the first movie did because the sequel movie is really good. The sequel movie is so fucking good. I'm not gonna say shit about it because everything in the plot in that movie is basically different from the TV series and the first recap movie, but it's so good. Zettai Live is so good. I also cried at it, but I cry at a lot of media. But Zettai Live is so good. It is so worth it. A love life situation. Yeah, having a lot of, and to be fair, Macross Delta has 5 idol girls. But I still think the idol girls are pretty much one of the better developed characters out there. I think the main character guy suffers the most from character development. He kind of has a role in the plot. His role in the plot is filled and nothing else kind of happens for him. Like, I kind of feel bad for him. Like, Hayate is a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a fun guy. He might even be my favorite main character, actually. After Basara, I like Basara the most, but main character guy, Hayate is up there, but he's a good guy. I like him. It's just that he doesn't really develop as a character. He's just kind of there. You're crying in the movie theater for Frontier movies. Yeah, So my boyfriend just exposed me that every time I've seen the Macross Frontier movies, I cry at the second one 100% at the ending. I cannot watch that movie without crying at the end. So, you know, you can understand the Macross Frontier movies are a masterpiece for me for that. But, Macross Delta also very much you cry at the end kind of movie. Zettai Live, that is. I'm head to bed now. Have fun talking about Idol Cross. No worries, have a good one. We're almost done here, though. We're almost done with the main part of the presentation. Because I prepared a lot. I wanted to talk about Macross a lot, okay? So we got a lot to talk about. But yeah, if you've heard Macross songs, you've heard Ikenai Borderline, you've heard Runga Pikato Hikattara, this is the series that those come from. It's been an hour and 54 minutes. I know, it does not feel like that. I've just been talking about Macross and time has flown by. How long did I plan for? I mean, out of slides, which one is this? This is, I don't know which slide it is, but there's some slides. We got some slides left, believe me. But it's just that this is the most recent entry in the Macross franchise, meaning that there is no other main series for me to introduce to you guys. Something September, exactly. So you would know this series from that. But it's already been almost 10 years since Macross Delta. So we are kind of overdue for the new Macross series, and I am personally expecting that to be announced very soon. I mean, it's in the works, that has been announced, but the actual title, actual like trailer or something like that, none of that has dropped for the next entry in the series. But yeah, moving on from all this actual TV series, because now I've introduced all the TV series to you guys. Here's the watch order! And let me do this. So this is the watch order. This is what you can take a screenshot of. That sort of stuff. We have the abridged version on the left, which is, as you can tell, significantly smaller than the list on the right. And the list on the right does not include everything. It does not include every single Blu-ray special, but it's all of it. If you're committed, you can watch the list on the right. If you just want to have a good understanding of the general franchise, not really care about Macross 7, for example, or Zero, you could watch the abridged version, which starts with the movie Macross Do You Remember Love? It continues with the Macross Plus movie. If you wanted to add Zero in here, you would add it after here. And then you would continue on with the Macross Frontier movies. And after that, you could watch the Labyrinth of Time special, which is like 15 minutes. It's really optional 15 minutes. You could do it if you really care about what happens after the ending of the second movie. And after that, you can move on to Macross Delta, where you can either watch the TV version or the first movie. I recommend watching both of them, but that's just me because I'm a completionist. If you watch the TV series, the 26 episodes or something, then it's not that big of a deal to also watch the movie. But when you watch the movie, it is not a very good movie. It just rushes through the events of the series. Yes, this is the Marley watch-along order. Well, yes, it is. The list on the right, that one is chronological, except for Macross Frontier, Labyrinth of Time, Toki no Meikyu. That one was released simultaneously as the second Macross Delta movie, but you can watch it immediately after you finish Macross Frontier. Not after the TV series though. So what I forgot to mention about Macross Frontier is that the TV series and the movies have a different ending. And the Labyrinth of Time special only follows the endings of the movies. I am not going to watch all of 7 with a watch-along. That is a lot to watch, unfortunately. Gonna take a pic in case I ever have a decade of time for watching it. Exactly. Yes, I'm streaming 2 hours only yapping about Macross. That is the entire stream. Instead, you get all of Robotech. Exactly. You get to watch me suffer from watching Robotech. That is happening. I'll be right back now. Have a good time. Oh, no worries. But yeah, basically, that's about it for the order. If you guys have any questions, or if you think I have forgotten something, do yell in the chat right now. The list that is currently in the pinned message that Slayer put there, that one lacks Flashback 2012. When I made that list, I forgot about Flashback 2012. But it's an optional ad anyway, since it's just literally like 2 minutes of new content, as we established earlier. So it's an optional ad, so it doesn't really say much that it's missing. But yeah, a lot of the things here listed are OVAs. The only long entries really are the first Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, Macross 7, Macross Frontier TV is also like 26 episodes, Macross Delta TV is also 26 episodes. Everything else is either a movie or an OVA with less than 6 episodes. You're gonna rewatch 7 and Plus right now? You don't do that without me! You're gonna do that with me! You don't do that without me! Okay, boyfriend! I wanna watch them too! Did we never... Also, boyfriend, we never watched Macross 2, so that's something we gotta watch. And I don't think we ever watched the TV version of Super Dimensional Fortress either. Did we? Boyfriend? I don't think we watched Super Dimensional Fortress, the TV version. It's okay, Nezumi, you can go back in the VOD. I will be uploading the VOD to YouTube. We didn't finish it. Alright, that's what I'm saying. We gotta finish those. But yeah, I think with that, you guys have taken your screenshots. If you wanted to take them right now, you will always come back here if you want to. And next up, we're moving on to other media. Other media, because Macross is not just anime. Like I said, it's a multimedia franchise. We got other stuff than just the TV series and the movies and the OVAs. We got a lot more. There's more, I know. But rest assured, the other media is there only if you want more. You don't need to consume any of the other media. All of this is optional. It's just that if you are a Macross head like myself and you want more, you can go see what else there's. You can see what else is out there. Starting off with games. There's over 40 Macross games. I've only played 2 of them, so I cannot tell you about all of those games, but there is a Wikipedia article that lists all the Macross games. A lot of them are really, really old, so I don't think I even have a legitimate way to get them, let alone play them at this point. So I don't know much about the older entries. But I do know that for the most part, a lot of the games are just retellings of the stories of the TV series. Some of them have original characters that you either get to play as or you get to see stories of. But for the most part, the Macross games are just optional. If you want to have more Macross in your life, if you ever wanted to pilot a Valkyrie yourself, this is your way of experiencing that. Shooting Inside is the title of the most recent Macross game, of which the main visual is on the right. This is the main visual for the game Macross Shooting Inside, and I played that recently. The VOD of that is available on YouTube, of me playing Macross Shooting Inside. However, Macross Shooting Inside still is only in Japanese, but it has a planned English release for this summer. So, unless it's super delayed, which would not be new for a Macross game. Shooting Inside was already delayed. It was supposed to release in March or something, I think. Or was it February? Or was it January? And then it was delayed to March. Yeah. So it was already a little delayed. And now the English translation, which was supposed to be there on launch, is also delayed for this summer. So, Macross games have a lot of delays. At least from what I've understood. And another game that I have played, aside from Shooting Inside, is Macross, which was a gacha rhythm mobile game. It unfortunately ended its service in 2012. No, 2022. And my boyfriend was there when it happened, because I happened to be in Alaska at the time. And I was crying about it. He saw me cry about it. He knows I cried about the ending of this game. He was there hugging me when it happened, and it is a dead game, but it is genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. I really genuinely enjoyed Macross. If you loved Macross, Macross was awesome. It is the only rhythm game made out of Macross, to my knowledge. And I could make an entire presentation about Macross if I really wanted to. But all you gotta know is that it was a rhythm game. It had lots of songs. It had practically almost every single song in the franchise at the end of its service. It was only lacking songs from Macross 2 because, well, why would Macross acknowledge Macross 2's existence? And it was also lacking some Macross Plus songs because they only added a couple because Macross Plus characters were not main characters in Macross. And it also had no representation of Macross Zero because that franchise doesn't really have any songs. But the lore of Macross Zero was very much present in Macross because of the lore of the game, which was basically that the Birdmen were attacking. And that sounds really weird out of context. Birdmen, okay? But believe me, if you know Macross, in Macross lore, Birdmen are something cool. And they were attacking or doing some dimensional bullshit. Basically, the plot in a lot of Macross games is that there's some dimensional bullshit going on. And that's how all these characters from different decades can interact with each other. So, sorry, I just spoiled the plot of every single collaboration Macross game out there. Some dimensional bullshit happens and all the characters can suddenly talk to each other. it's fun for the fans, but it's also kind of cliche at this point. But Macross 30 is also another game that I wanted to bring up, because Macross 30 is something I hear a lot of good things about. I've never played Macross 30, but I really, really want to play Macross 30 someday, because it apparently has its own unique plot with like 2 main characters that are game only, but they also interact with the characters of the previous entries at that point. Macross 30 happened before Macross Delta, so Macross Delta characters are not in Macross 30, but it seems like it's a very, very genuinely good series, or like a game, and I want to play it someday, but it's only in Japanese, as understandable, so I'm kind of waiting on a moment where I understand enough Japanese that I can look at it and also be able to play it. Someday I'll play it. And we also have a patchy slot machine, because if I did not mention that Macross has a bazillion fucking patchy slot and pachinko machines, I will be lying about the gaming part of Macross. There are so many of these machines. They are still made to this day. Macross pachinko machines. They're still made. It's mostly Macross Frontier, and I think they got a couple Macross Delta ones too, and I think there's a Super Dimensional Fortress pachinko slot too, probably. But they seem to be a thing where they want to do many of these machines. And you know, maybe someday I will be insane enough, just like one of my Oshis, and buy one of these machines. So, watch out, boyfriend. We're gonna have a pachinko machine in our house. Can you get into a kid talking to a grandma situation? Yes! The 100% happens. Yeah, it does happen, sort of. Like relatives talk to the older relatives when they are younger. It's really funny. When it happens. That sort of stuff is one of the fun part about the collaboration games. Then I'm buying a Chunatham arcade cabinet. Well, I've always been for you buying yourself arcade cabinets. We've discussed this. I've also wanted to have a Dance Dance Revolution cabinet, and we're fine with this. We're fine with that. I guess me and my boyfriend are gonna have an entire room someday filled with arcade machines. We're our own private arcade that also has probably Aikatsu, and it also has Project Diva, probably. I guess we're just gonna do that if we get rich. It would make sense. When you do a Plus Take Picture show, sure, it will happen in like 10 years, but if you guys are still around, I'll take pictures. I will get a Macross patchy slot machine. I'll be around. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. But yeah, that's about it that I have to say about games. I'd love to play more of them at some point if I ever get a chance to do them. But for now, let's talk about the manga and novels. And this is something that I, unfortunately, have not read any of these. I know, it's a bit of a blasphemy that I've not read even Cheryl Kids in the Galaxy. I've not read them because I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to reading manga. I like having them as physical media. So, even though translations probably exist for at least some of these, I've not seeked them out because I like reading manga physically. But I feel like, look, this is how much I looked these up. I looked how many there are, and more than anything, I am feeling the internal pain of not having known any of these, that I really genuinely want to go and read them. Genuinely, I want to go and read them. So, I think the ones that I picked up here are the ones that I either have heard the most about or that seemed most interesting. So, first and foremost, we got the Super Dimensional Fortress Macross the First, which is illustrated by Haruhiko Mikimoto, who is the original character illustrator of the original series. And this only released in like, I think it's like 2008 or something that this released. So it was well after the actual series had aired. But it is depicting the events of the first series, and I would love to read it someday. From Mikimoto, we also have a Macross 7 Trash, which has a new guy, new girl, completely new plot to Macross 7. It's I don't know if the actual characters from Macross 7 appear in Macross 7 Trash, But it's got a new guy, a new girl. Oh, wait, I think I read that it takes place a year or something before the events of Macross 7. But it is also illustrated by Mikimoto, because Mikimoto also does art for Macross 7. And basically, it's very, very cool. Interesting. I wanna see what it's like. It seems cool. Then, as I already mentioned, we got Cheryl, Kiss in the Galaxy. And this one I am genuinely so interested in because, well, first and foremost, Frontier is my favorite manga. Favorite series in the Macross franchise. But Cheryl, Kiss in the Galaxy is apparently the backstory of Cheryl before the events of Frontier. And I'm not gonna say anything about it because it's kind of spoilers, literally. But it's spoilers what happens in there. But I've seen art of it. It looks so cute. It looks so good. And Cheryl's story is genuinely good. So I really, really want to see it in more details. So, and I hear that everybody who's read it said that it's good. Link, please, welcome back. Macross 7 trash? I don't think it's trash. It's just, I don't know why they named it that. But you know, think about it. Japan in the year 2000 or something? Yeah, they probably don't really care about what they call their animes with English names. You missed me talk about Macross games, I'm pretty sure. And then, what else we got in here? We got Macross The Ride, or Macross R, which is apparently a novel. I did not know about the existence of this novel until today when I looked up more novels, or like that sort of stuff. So this is a novel that is related to Macross Frontier, or like the events of Macross Frontier, or something like that. I know nothing about it. I just know it exists. And I'm like, damn, I want to read that. I don't know if it's translated, but it had a Wikipedia article in English, so I don't know. Maybe it's got a translation since somebody was dedicated enough to give it a Wikipedia article at some point in time. And then we got Macross Delta E. I don't know anything about it. I just looked at the art and I'm like, damn, this looks cute and awesome. Like, whoever this pink girl is, she looks really cute. And apparently this is a mix of like Valkyrie and like Fire Bomber, where the main girl has her mech and like guitar and shit, and it looks really cool. So I'd love to kind of get into that someday. Oh, Sayora is about to give us something. Elma. So it's good. Okay. Elma is a character from Macross 7 OVAs. So, apparently she makes a return in here, so that's cool. Elma is a good girl, though. She is another green-haired girl, so, you know, green-haired girls, we love them. And then finally, we have Macross Delta, Kuroki Tsubasa no Shirokishi. So in English, that's something like the White Knight of the Black Feathers or something like that. It's very edgy. But this one focuses on the antagonists of Macross Delta. Probably the backstory of them. I actually haven't heard a summary of the story for this, but I just know it exists. It's something about the main guys, because, you know, it's about the main guys, hot guys. So I'm like, I don't really care about the guys. But it probably goes into the backstory of this guy. Because, again, Macross Delta had very rushed characters in the TV series, so I'm sure this manga gives a lot of insight into what kind of characters they are, the antagonists. Oh, and looks like I skipped forward a page. Whoop, let's not go there just yet. So, the one final thing that I want to say about the manga and novel is that there's more. This is not everything, there's more. There's a lot more that just kind of retell the events of the TV series. There's some other ones with spin-off characters, to my knowledge, but I could not feature everything. And I feel like it would be a little stupid for me to feature everything when I have not read a single one of them. So these are the ones that I thought were most interesting that I wanted to list in here. All right, now we can move on to the idols slash the seiyus. Woo! Get some hype in the chat for the idols. Yippee! Idols. Woo! Yee yee yee. Woo! Yee. You guys like the idols, right? I'm not the only idol person here. Woo! Cricket! No! Legacy! Shut up! Shut up! Silence him! Silence him! He deserves another silence. Macross is a whole franchise of waifus, idolus. There's also husbandos in Macross. Don't forget about the hot pilot guys. They exist. It's just that I don't represent them too much because I don't care about them that much. You know, as a bi person, probably a little more into girls. But the important part here is that we are looking at the cute girls in real life in the form of the seiyus. Actual human, I know. So, the girls pictured here are Valkyrie in real life. We got Nozomi Nishida, Kiyono Yasuno, Nao Toyama, Minori Suzuki, and Junna. So, notably, Kiyono Yasuno and Nao Toyama are like basically veterans in the industry. Especially Nao Toyama. Her voice is so distinct to me. And she's been in like literally everything at this point. So from everything from like Yuru Camp to like some harem anime, she's there. I've noticed her, I've spotted her voice, and I'm always like, Toyama now. So she's basically everywhere. And I like her voice. I think she's one of my favorite seiyus because I keep seeing her everywhere and she's really cute. And yeah, when I say harem anime, it's the ones that my boyfriend told me were good, and so I watched them and I'm like, Toyama now. I forgot which one it was. I think she was like a blonde girl with some pigtails or something like that. I think that was her role in some harem anime. I forgot. It was one of those messy fantasy plot things going on. Not DxD, it's some of the other more obscure ones that my boyfriend made me watch. But Kiyono Yasuno, she is also an incredible singer. She's an Idol Master, for example. A lot of series. She's in a lot of series. Natsuki from Idol Master. If I'm not mistaken, I think she is also in... Yeah, she's also in Aikatsu. She does the speaking voice of Sakura in Aikatsu. So Sakura and Kaname, they're my two characters from the series that I love, and I'm like, damn, you guys speak the same. So that's fun for probably Sayora, if Sayora never noticed that Sakura and Kaname share a voice actress. That's a fun little detail to know. And then Nozomi Nishida, I believe she was a real life idol before she got her role as Makina in Macross. You see it now? I know, right? They're the same! Toyama Nao, you will probably know her from somewhere. If you know seiyus, if you've seen enough animes, you will probably know her roles from somewhere. But Nozomi Nishida, she doesn't really do seiyu stuff, to my knowledge. She's more of a singer. But she did do the voice for Makina. And then we have Minori Suzuki, Minoringo, and Junna. They were both they auditioned and won the auditions for Macross Delta specifically. They were Macross Delta's singers that got in through an audition. So I believe Flying Dog is in charge of those auditions, but at least since Macross 7, they do these kind of auditions for like a new talent to do the singing voices in the series, and usually at least one of the characters has been picked from those auditions and they debut through Macross. So Minori Suzuki and Junna were both the ones who got their singing debut from Macross Delta. Minori Suzuki also does seiyuu voice acting. She is like basically in everything. Every new franchise since 2016, if there's a character that sings, she is in it. She's in Idol Master, she's in Uma Musume, she is in Show the Rock, is that the series? She also has a seiyuu role in Boku no Hero Academia. She is also kind of everywhere nowadays, and I'm so happy for it. I love Minori. She's my favorite seiyuu, like 100%. So I'm just really happy to see her in like every show ever. And of course, she's in Project Sekai, the seiyuu of Shinonome Ena, my favorite character from that franchise. You know, on top of her being Freya, of course, but I love her as Ena. I love her. She's so good. So, you know, whenever you see me freak out over a seiyuu, it's probably her. It's probably her. She's just really, really cute in real life too. Like, if you see the videos of this girl, she's so cute. She's just really cute. I say girl, but I mean, she's a grown woman. And then Junna. Right, the crazy part about Junna. The crazy part about Junna is that she is only, I believe, 23 at the moment. So if you do some mathing out, you will see that when Macross Delta aired in 2016, she was literally 16 at the time. And when she won the audition, she was probably 15 at the time. If not 14. I don't know how long it was in production. But like, this woman who has like the coolest, deepest voice. She, if you know Ikenai Borderline, the original version of Ikenai Borderline, this is the girl who has the main vocals in that song. Her voice is amazing. And I love Junna. And she's like been so talented ever since she got in her debut through Macross Delta. And I love her so much for that. You can tell my enthusiasm, but I just love her, and I try to follow her as much as I can with my limited attention span. Same with Minori, because I've kind of been there ever since they started doing their jobs, right? I've been there. Oh yeah, Minori is also Liko from Pokemon, which is the reason why I'm watching Pokemon at all. I really need to catch up though, but like, you know, I'm watching Pokemon because my favorite seiyuu is doing the main character in Pokemon, you know, so you gotta understand, right? Through Macross, I've gotten into seiyus a little bit, and I'm sure if you guys are actually into seiyus, you will see them even more. And understandably, the names I've listed here are not every single seiyuu or like even an important singing character in Macross. However, the ones that I've listed here are the ones that have the most to do with Macross, especially Valkyrie, since they are the new girls. Well, sort of new, it's almost been 10 years. They do a lot of promotion for Macross even now. Technically, Valkyrie has done their final live already, so they as a unit are not gonna do their own activities anymore until there's like a crossover live with more Macross singers that happens sometime in the future. Their time as the Macross musical people are done for now. There's not gonna be any more Macross Delta singles, that sort of stuff. In any near future anyway. They're probably gonna do a comeback at some point, but for the most part, they're done promoting Macross and, well, Macross Delta specifically. They do still make weekly appearances in Macross Modelers episodes that you can see on the Macross YouTube channel. Especially Nozomi and Naotoyama and Minoringo. They make a lot of appearances on the Macross YouTube channel, promoting a lot of Macross merch, that sort of stuff. So these three you still see very actively with Macross. Kiyoru Yasuno, I think she shows up too. I think it's, well, all of them show up. I think Junna shows up the least. She shows up the least, I think, because she's focusing on her musical career, which she very much should be, because she's doing so good. But they still show up to promote Macross merch and that sort of stuff. But nothing Macross Delta related specifically anymore, for the most part. Until they decide to pull them out of retirement again. Yeah, basically. So, with a lot of idol groups, if they say that they are retired, they're probably retired for good. But with Macross specifically, they do make comebacks every now and then. It's just that it happens once a decade or something. I still remember when I was at Dokumi, when Megumi Nakajima was there, and I didn't go because I didn't know her, and I was only there for a day. Such a mistake. I know for sure. Oh my god, I wish I had a chance to meet Megumi. Speaking of Megumi and Main, because I think I talked a lot about Valkyrie already. Megumi Nakajima, as mentioned earlier, she is the voice for Ranka Lee, and she made her debut through Ranka. So she is very much still associated with Ranka. She doesn't really make appearances for Macross related things that often, but she does still sing Macross songs at her like own live concerts, and sometimes she makes TV appearances and she does like Seikan Hiko, that sort of stuff. She has her own musical career. Sometimes she does seiyuu stuff. She's mostly a singer, doesn't really do that much seiyuu stuff anymore, but sometimes she does. But she's just doing her thing. She's doing good, I think. And then we have Main. Main is only a singer. So for characters like Mikumo and Cheryl, where Junna and Main do their singing voices, they have a different voice for speaking. I believe for Junna, it's Ami Koshizumi. For Main, it's For Cheryl, it's I forgot the singing voice, but I know very much what Cheryl sounds like. Her speaking voice. I'm making such terrible mistakes speaking or whatever, but yeah. Basically, Main, I believe she is doing good with her music things. I don't follow her really that closely, but I do know that she still sings Macross songs at her live concerts and that sort of stuff. So she also is still doing some Macross things every now and then. And then we have... Oh my god, my voice is letting out. I've been yapping so much. Sorry. Alright, and then we have Yoshiki Fukuyama, who is a guy. He is an old man, literally in his like 50s probably, if not 60s. He's an old man, but he is the singing voice of Basara. And this guy, you would think that after like 30 years, he would like be over that role as Basara's singing voice, but no, this man still does almost yearly concerts that are like Macross 7 inspired or something. And even this year, there's going to be the Basara Explosion 2024 in October? I think that's in October if I'm not reading the numbers wrong. So basically, he's still very much doing active things as Basara. You should go see him? Shut up, we're gonna both go see him. The old man still got fire and passion in him. Exactly, he's quite literally very much of a fiery personality, from what I know of him anyway. And Basara also has a different singing and speaking voice, but basically, at least Fukuyama, he very much still loves Basara. He does a lot of cool stuff, still sings a lot of the Basara songs, and he's also got a lot of his solo stuff. I've not looked into his like non-Macross discography, but I know he's got so much of it. So for anybody interested in Macross 7's music, Fukuyama is absolutely still doing things. And then we got Mari Iijima, who I don't have a picture of here, but Mari Iijima is the voice of Minmei from Super Dimensional Fortress. She is basically a grandma at this point, but with her Asian genes, she looks like she's 20, so I think she is for sure in her 60s at the very least. But Mari Iijima, I think nowadays she lives in America because she can fluently speak English and Japanese. And that's why she is, I don't know which specific dub it was. It might have been the Robotech dub, but Mari Iijima was the first person ever to do voice acting for a character in English and Japanese. Because she's fluent in both languages. And it's really cool in my opinion. Like that's 100%, not only did she happen to voice and sing for one of the most iconic idol characters ever, she also happened to be the first person ever to do a multilingual dub. And that's really cool. Really, really cool. And I believe she has a bit of a, from my understanding, she has a bit of a mixed relationship with Macross. Has had a mixed opinion of it over the years, but I think nowadays she's alright with Macross, probably, for the most part. Probably, I don't want to spread any rumors about her, but she does still sing Macross songs, but I think she's a little sad that her own solo stuff never did as well as the Macross stuff, which is understandable considering that it was huge. Super Dimensional Fortress at the time was huge, so it's understandable that she wasn't able to really come up with solo stuff that was like as popular, I think. But regardless, she, I believe, doesn't have that terrible of a relationship with Minmei nowadays, but she is still singing some Macross stuff every now and then, so I wanted to mention her. Also because I think meeting her is probably the most realistic thing for a lot of you guys. Since she lives in America, I think she does make some appearances at like Super Dimensional Convention or something. I think that's a convention that exists. I think she's been there. I'm not sure though, because I don't know anything about the American convention scene really. But I think she does some appearances in conventions, and she does stuff as Minmei every now and then, so that's why her name is here. I believe everybody else who has been a seiyuu or a singer from Macross, they don't really talk about it that much, and this is like mostly everybody anyway. But for the ones that are like not listed, they do probably still like the Macross rolls, or they've completely moved on and they do other stuff. But if you really care about Macross and you want to care about the seiyus that do care about Macross, these are the people you should be looking at. That's kind of the general gist of this. All right, now I'm done talking about the idols. Next up, this is either going to be really short or really long, depending on how much you guys contribute. Model kits. This is a huge, huge part of the Macross hobby that I know nothing about. Very interesting slide. Next, please. What do you mean? So I need to mention it because I will be a really, really fake Macross fan if I did not even mention that this is a thing that people think about when they think of Macross. You're interested in this? Good, good, good. Can you tell me more about it? Because all I know is that people build them and people love building them. This is Gunpla, basically. But it's just for Macross specifically. One reason for Mecha to exist is model kits and Gunpla. Yeah. And for one thing, that kids should not model. Yeah. I think actually though, recently Macross has released these tiny session mechs dubbed tiny session. Oh my god, my voice is actually letting out. I'm sorry. But Tiny Session is a new brand, sort of, where they release these really tiny mechs, and I think each one of these is like 20 bucks, so they're really cheap, and they're really tiny, and they're really simple. So probably if a kid wanted to get into Macross, they could get through these. Take a break. Not a long one, just a little bit of a stretching. I'm almost done anyway. Like, I don't think there's any more main slides anymore after this. Can they transform though? Yes. What you're looking at here is an example of probably a high grade or something mech of the YF19, which is like the best looking mech in the series according to many. So, you know, this is the YF19 doing its transformations. You can build this thing, you can make it transform. It's cool. People love it. There's the Battleroid mode, there's the Gerbolg mode, and then there's the fighter mode. That's what I know about it. The Tiny Session ones, yeah, I'm pretty sure those transform too. At least, I don't know if they have Gerbolg, but I know they have at least a fighter plane mode. The high grade requires a completely separate front end to switch to Gerbolg fighter. Ah, okay, interesting, interesting. And then what we got here in this picture is a Rankali Macross 40th anniversary building kit. I own this. I have not built this. I promised you guys I would stream building this. It'll happen soon. When I say soon, it could be in a month or it could be in a week or two months. But it'll happen. It'll happen. I'll try to build this thing, okay? I still need to buy the tools I need for it though. I'm not gonna collect any more until I have at least built this one. And the ones that I'm gonna get, if I would get them, if I had the money, I would get the Valkyrie equivalents of them. Right now they're making Valkyrie girls also have these figures that you can pose, and they also come with some mechs. So I would get those. I don't really care about the mechs on their own. I care about the ones that come with the girls. The more expensive ones can transform fully. Yeah. I wonder if Macross inspired Star Fox. It could be, because Macross genuinely was a very, very influential series at the time. I think it still is. Mechs over girls. No, we have the exact opposite opinion. But yeah, this is here to mention that this is a big part of being a Macross fan. It's just that me personally, I am not into these. Well, I appreciate them. I think they're very cool aesthetically. It's just that whatever ticks in your brain for the stuff that you like, I don't get that tick for the mechs. I get the ticks when I see this cute girl right here, and I'm like, oh my god, cute girl figure. I'm like, yeah, I love that. The mech stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it. But it doesn't really do anything for me. But I think with that, we're probably done talking about the Macross mechs. And with that, we can move on to the final slide. that's appropriately called What's Next? What do we think is next for the Macross franchise? Well, first and foremost, like I've mentioned already, we have a new anime in production by Studio Sunrise. That's all we know about it. We know that it's in production. And God, I hope we never have a Fortnite collab. And you are reading Finnish. Ja yksi muu linkki, meaning, and one other link. But yes. So the new anime is done by Studio Sunrise, who the real mech heads here probably know is the studio behind Gundam. I think Satellite did the anime for Delta and Frontier, but there's some issues with Satellite nowadays. So the production for the next Macross has gone to Sunrise. But Sunrise is known for making Gundam. And Nezumi the Stripes, thank you so much for the gifted! No, that's not a gifted, but tier 1, thank you! I really appreciate it, thank you! Thank you so much. And as I was about to say, Sunrise is also known for making Love Live on top of Gundam. So literally, we're gonna see the big name in mech, the big name in idols, do something for Macross. And I am honestly very optimistic about it. I think it's gonna be something cool that they end up doing. Sunrise does a lot of stuff. I think just mentioning Love Live and Gundam is the most relevant here. Sunrise is a very big studio, so they've done a lot. Did they do Aikatsu? It will make sense, I think. Did they do Aikatsu? I can't remember the studio for Aikatsu. Because I also know that the studio probably switched, at least the 3D studio switched between Stars and OG Katsu. They had a whole new team work on Aikatsu's 3D for Stars. You probably noticed it, that the 3D went down in quality a little bit in Stars. But it's gonna get good again. They're gonna get good again with the 3D in Stars. But yes. That is the answer I was looking for. Well done. Yippee! It's Namco, so possibly? Right. But yeah, aside from the new anime, we also know that the Blu-rays are slowly coming into the West. Macross 2 had its Kickstarter at the start of the year. That's still in the works. Those are arriving. Macross Plus currently has special edition Blu-ray pre-orders open. I think they're done by Anime Limited or something like that. In the US, they're in the Crunchyroll store or something like that, I'm pretty sure. But the Macross Plus special edition Blu-ray is up for order. And I have it ordered for myself already. So we'll see whenever that happens. My voice is still fine. It's a little strained, but it's not too bad. So don't be too worried. If I was actually super strained with my voice, I will be ending stream. Do not worry. I can take care of myself. I am a grown woman. But yes. Then also, the current Blu-rays that we're waiting on for more announcements is Macross 7 and Macross Frontier and Macross Delta and Zero. We know that all of those have had announcements that they are coming to the West in Blu-ray form. The licenses are acquired by some studio, not studios, some whatever company handles the rights to Blu-ray releases. Those are handed out. So it's just a matter of whenever they get to making those. Might have to buy Frontier and Delta. I'm gonna buy all of them. I'm just gonna buy all of them. Just for the fact that they're releasing them in the West. I may buy Macross Plus twice if it gets a release with Finnish subtitles. Just because I want to support Macross in Finland too. Nordics, I suppose, specifically. But yeah, I'm just really excited. Grown too much, turned into dust. I don't think I can trust his assurance. Yeah. But yeah, so next up, the thing that we need to think about is the streaming service release of Macross. It has been announced that Macross will be on Disney Plus. it is already on Disney Plus in Japan. That happened like a little bit ago. However, we had an announcement that we would get them in the West in Disney Plus. To my knowledge, that has not yet happened, even though the Japanese versions on Disney Plus do have English subtitles on them. If you happen to be in Japan and you had Disney Plus, you will be able to watch Macross with English subtitles. So it's just a matter of time, I think, before those are officially released in the Western releases of Disney Plus. And I think for 1 month straight, I'm going to have to subscribe to Disney Plus so I can see what kind of subtitles they make. Because for a lot of series, especially with Macross 7, I am genuinely so curious to how they decide to translate character names. Because with Macross 7, the fandom is in such denial about how to write the names out in like Latin alphabet. Because a lot of the names are sort of made up alien names, so it's really funny to so it will be really funny to see how they decide to make those officially named. Honestly, I think Honkai Star Rail will be better bet than Fortnite. What? I just want to have an Idolmaster collab with Macross. Okay, there has been an Idolmaster collab with Macross in the past. I think we could have a Cinderella Girls Macross collab. I think that's the most likely Macross collab in on right now that I would want to have. Or something. Love Live. You know, I'll take Love Live since they're both getting Sunrise Studios or something like that. I want to see Idol series get collabs. A lot of the collabs Macross has had have been so fucking weird. They've been with the weirdest obscure mobile games in the recent years. Or it's been some obscure hotel, or it's been some hotel chain and the hotel had some Macross rooms in it, or it's been some onsen. So onsen, what's an onsen in English? Like the hot springs place in Japan that had a Macross collab. Like a lot of Macross collabs are kind of obscure. And then we had the Shinkansen collab with Macross very, very recently, like a month ago or something. Macross has some weird collabs. And I think if Uta Macross had some in-game collabs too, it wouldn't have died probably, even though it was probably more of a licensing issue than anything else. But regardless, I think Macross has some learning to do with collabs, and I don't know if Fortnite is the way to do it, but something. Macross needs to have a little bit more of a collabing thingy going on, I think. One other thing that we are waiting on is the English release of Shooting in Sight, as we talked about in the gaming slide. That is still yet to come, even though the game itself is out. And other things is just a bunch of more merch. Macross has like a new merch collab, or not a collab, new merch release with a new merch visual. And basically, once a month it feels like. Once every 2 months. There's a new visual drawn by one of the official artists or some in-house artist for more Macross merch. And I'm just like, yeah! Awesome! I don't have the money for this. And overall, if you ever feel like you want to get some Macross merch, I think you are in luck, because so much of it has been released in the past that if you go to Mercari or something like that, Mercari or like Yahoo auctions, you will see like a shit ton of merch just out there. Especially for Frontier, there's so much merch out there. You're gonna have every single Macross keychain you will desire. If you ever feel like it, you can get them for pretty cheap. When it comes to older series, I'm not that certain about the merch status, but at least for Frontier and Delta, you can get merch very easily. And yeah, if any of you guys has not followed some official accounts for Macross, I put them in here on this slide too. We got the Twitter accounts at MacrossD and at Macross Big West. There's a underline in there. This is the official English account for Macross, and this is the official Japanese account. The English account is a little more inactive. The Japanese account has it has basically everything. And then this is the Macross YouTube channel. It has English and Japanese content mixed, basically. But For the most part, these are the ways you would get new information about Macross. And then there's macross.jp, of course. If you just want to see the homepage, macross.jp. But yeah, that is basically everything I had today about Macross. Do you guys have complaints? Did I not talk about Macross sufficiently? Did I forget something about the series? Let me see. Let me just put this in here. Macross, give me a fucking teaser, please. I yearn for the Macross. Me too. Too much talk about idols. Ah. It was great, best teacher ever. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Maybe someday I'll do a similar presentation about Aikatsu, because that's another little more obscure anime that I'm kind of obsessed with. My only complaint, the ghost is addicted. No! Don't call me out like that. You got silenced. Well, that was your fault, so, you know, can't say anything else about it. Oh, but yeah. Actually, let me show you guys the watch order again. It's kind of, you know, it is what it is. But well, let me just do this. So once again, this is the personal watch order that I recommend. Either do the full chronological watch order. Release order, watch order. That's the big list. Or do the abridged watch order, which is just the main series, short version movies. Macross Zero is not your first entry unless you hate idols. But even then, Macross Zero, I highly recommend that you watch Macross Do You Remember Love first. That is a movie that will give you so much more context to Macross Zero. And it is genuinely a very good movie. If you just want to watch one or two series in the Macross franchise, either watch Macross Do You Remember Love the movie or Macross Frontier movies. Those are great standalone series to get into. Macross Zero is such a lore heavy series, or lore heavy entry in the series, that I genuinely only really recommend it in the full watch order. But if you just want to see the mech porn, go for it, I guess. What grade do you feel you deserve for my presentation? Well, you guys were the audience. What grade is my presentation getting? We are doing the Finnish grading system from 4 to 10. From 4 to 10 with pluses and minuses included, and halves. From 4 to 10. That's how grading in schools works in Finland. 10? Thank you. For minus, no! 10 plus, thank you. 10 plus is technically the only way you could get a 10 plus is if there's bonus points and you happen to, or bonus exercises and you also get points from the bonus exercises. B, that's American. I don't know American. What's a passing grade in American numbers? I mean letters. A, 7 out of 10. I mean, as long as it's above 7, we take it. FA? Oh, you use them. What? But I thought it was American thing. Sorry. I'm sorry, Swedish people. I think it's weird though. I understand that 4 to 10 is weird too though. I understand that. Why is Legacy consistently giving me worse grades? What's up with that? You can get an MVG? I don't know what that means. Legacy hates me. I know, right? How is he, one of my oldest viewers, been here for 3 years straight, and he still hates me? I don't get it. 6.5? Well, that's better than a 6. You hate me because I bully you? Isn't that it? Do you have to think about it that hard? Because I'm a mean bully to you? Isn't that the reason? Exactly. See, I know why you hate me. But yeah, Legacy is an OG. To anybody who ever sees his antics, no worries. You know, he's been here for a while. I'm used to him. But yeah, with that said, I think I'm done here today. So we can move on to just chatting. Yippee! Thank you guys for tuning to the stream today. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed Macross. More yapping, not so much. Just enough that we get to like end it here, find somebody to raid, that sort of stuff. But thank you. Hope you guys had a good time, because I had a good time. If you missed the entirety of the stream, or like you kind of missed spots of it, I will be uploading the VOD as usual. It will be up on YouTube. I feel like I probably don't have to edit this into a video, because a lot of the stuff that I said I want to keep in anyway. There's only a little bit of tangles, a little bit of off-topic conversation here and there. For the most part, we're good. I got the information I wanted, 8 to 9, since you didn't know enough about the manga novel. True. I wish I knew more about them. You know what? Fuck it, maybe I'll try to find Kiss in the Galaxy right after stream and read it. You've been here for the whole stream? Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It's been a good almost 3 hours. Chad, I had to pay Marley to be nice to me for a minute, but when she did it, she was just mean to me for 10 minutes. He's lying, you guys. I was nice to him for like 2.5 minutes or something. I sent him extra time because I could not finish my sentences within a minute. Let it be known, I was extra nice to him when I had to do his thing. Don't feel down, you were a good teacher. I'm now wanting to watch the anime. Yippee! I'm really happy if you guys feel that way. Because genuinely, I really love Macross. I think it's really good. And I think you guys deserve... I think it deserves more attention in the West. Especially, you know, if nothing else. If you see me yell about it showing up on streaming services, and that makes it very easy for you guys to watch it, do please do so. What do you mean? Boyfriend, what are you talking about? What? Huh? What are you talking about? What is he talking about? Boyfriend is being weird. Why is he thinking that I'm with him because of a specific reason that's not because it's him? Macross, stupid, do you want me to break up with you? Huh? I would not. But I mean, I know he's joking, right? Right? Also, Legacy, you asked for me to specifically read out the voicemail copy pasta. That's why you got that. Let's make it clear. You're saying I'm dating you because of Macross. That's not true though. If I dated you because of Macross, you would be like one of the Macross seiyus. I'm dating you because I like you. You don't need to be insecure here right now, live on stream with people listening. I don't need to confess my love in front of like 30 people. Gosh. I don't take jokes. You know I don't take jokes. I'm gonna get serious if you get serious. If you say a serious topic, you know, this is why I hate my boyfriend. Because he's like, haha, a joke about breaking up or something. Well, no, he wouldn't break up. He wouldn't joke about breaking up, but he would joke about similarly serious topics. And I take them seriously because he makes... my sense of humor is really bad. We got, like, me and his sense of humor, it's like completely different. It's completely different. So sometimes he makes the most serious jokes, and he likes to be dramatic and cry about things that don't matter. And it's the most annoying thing ever, but like in like a good way. In like a good way, it's annoying. Like, I don't hate it when he cries about things, you know, that don't matter. It's just that I have to be like, oh my god, to him sometimes, you know? And so if he picks the right topic, I will be serious in replies to it. You do cry! You literally, like, sent me a crying emote 2 messages ago in Discord! That's called crying. You sent me a crying emote. He sent it because he misses me. So, you know, it was a wholesome message. But still, yeah, He cries mentally. I have not seen him cry in real life because he doesn't like actually cry, but he like cries as in he whines. That's what I mean. That's the word I'm trying to say. That's the word I'm trying to say. He whines a lot about annoying things, okay? Okay? Yeah, he's a sweetheart. But you're not supposed to know that. He's supposed to be annoying and terrible, so you guys don't steal him from me, okay? You guys don't know that he's cool, okay? He's nothing like you, Legacy. You are so annoying in comparison. He is not that annoying. You don't like boys, but some of you do. Some of you do. Some of you do. Yeah, you're annoying, Legacy. Anyway, I think my voice needs to rest, and I don't know what my boyfriend is up to, but since he has time to be watching my stream, maybe he would have time to hang out with me, question mark, question mark, question mark. Maybe he wants to see me play Metroid, question mark, question mark, question mark. Is he at work? I don't know. He's been on his vacations lately. I don't know when he's at work and when he's not, but maybe I should end the stream so he could maybe possibly hang out with me. I'm not gonna talk for much longer. You're literally the reason I'm talking longer than I meant to right now. Alright, we should rate somebody so I get to send you guys off to something. Some person. Who should we rate? Ooh! Wait, oh, I had the best idea. Ooh, they started streaming at the same time as I did though, so I don't know if they're continuing for long. Well, they're just running around for now. Maybe they'll continue for longer. I don't know. Let's just rate them anyway before I think of anything else. An educational stream, thank you. No worries. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys did that. But yeah, oh, they just saved the game. That's a bad sign. Are they gonna end the stream because they saved the game? No, they're still running around. That tells me they're not ending the stream. Okay. I want to rate Teddy today. Teddy Kura. Teddy is playing Ocarina of Time. We all love Zelda here, so I think that works out. And I think Teddy rated me a few days ago. So like, let's send you guys over there. So I can only think Teddy, as in a teddy bear. Teddy. Teddy Kura. Sorry for my ESL moment, but I think you guys will have a fun time there. If I could press the buttons correctly. There we go. All right. But thank you guys so much for joining in today. There will be no stream tomorrow because I need to do uni stuff tomorrow, catch up on my summer courses. And on Sunday, I will be here. However, we will be playing Salmon Run in Splatoon. We will be doing the question mark rotation. I will be probably playing with viewers. We'll see how it goes, depending on how many people are interested. I will be here at 4 p.m, so early times. Other than that, my weekend is not for streaming. Why is there not a cod run or a shrimp run? I don't know, man. It's because the salmons are evil, I think. Either way, I think we will rate Teddy now. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And yeah, hope you guys consider giving Macross a watch. If not, I will see you guys with a stream on Sunday. All right, thank you for joining. It's time to say bye-bye. You think a bye-bye moment is here? Okay, bye-bye.